Well, good afternoon and welcome to Sydney Parade. You join us today for the LHK Group Senior T20 Final for the Alan Murray Trophy. It's an absolutely fabulous day here in Sydney Parade, and it's also been a fabulous day in Anglesey Road. We've had the two semi-finals. We now know the identity of the two finalists. It's Phoenix and Leinster, as you see from your screen. I'll take you through those semi-final results later. But I'm delighted to say at the moment I have in the box beside me 2025 Cricket Leinster President. Mina, how are you today?
Good afternoon, Craig. It's absolutely beautiful day, so I'm really enjoying the sun here.
Yeah.
And what a game we had this afternoon, this morning games. Both the games were exciting, and we are now going to have a cracking game here with Leinster fielding, Leinster on the ball, Leinster with the ball, and Phoenix with the bat.
Yes, well, Phoenix will be hoping to carry on from where they were in the semi-final. They scored 231 in 20 overs.
Massive.
I wonder how many windows were broken around the Merion area.
Yes, exactly. 16,
Road.
I think I counted 16 sixes or something from George Dockrell.
He was incredible. But here we are, the final is underway. Moondra, he's just finished a spell of 4 overs. He bowled his up top all the way through. It'll be interesting to see if Leinster do the same again this time. But both these sides, they came through the group stages. They've won their semi-finals earlier today, and now it's the business end.
Unbeaten at the group.
All the group winners won their 3 games. Nothing came down to net run rate, which is always an awful way to decide a group. But they all earned it on victories and got their places in the semi-final. I think they all had chances in the semi-final, but it was Phoenix and Leinster who came through. Shane Getgate is facing the bowling of Moondra at the moment. So, how are you finding presidency?
Oh, it's wonderful. I enjoy travelling to clubs. I try to hit all the clubs outside Dublin, outside the normal route of Dublin, and thoroughly enjoy it. And the enthusiasm and the passion people have for cricket, it's unbelievably amazing. In one of the matches I went to, the players actually stopped playing and they all came over for a photo shoot with me. And I was like, wait, I'll be here for the lunch and we can take the picture at the lunch.
Well, this one, just going past the outside edge of Getgate, he was looking to lift it over the slips. It wasn't to be. And so we've started with 3-dot balls, which compared to the helter-skelter batting we saw this morning, 3-dot, I don't think we saw 3-dot balls in a row in either semi-final. Well, it's a beautiful day. Once again, we
had 3 beautiful days here. I started my campaign here in Leinster Lightning. We had the Leinster Lightning T20 last day on Thursday evening. Beautiful day. Oh, God, this is some drama.
Bowler just returning the ball to the wicketkeeper with interest.
Yes.
But yes, there's been some great weather this past week.
And yesterday was another unbelievable game.
Yes.
Another flagship game for Leinster yesterday. And gorgeous weather for it. And a huge crowd yesterday. Massive crowd here in Sydney Parade.
I was discussing this with one of my colleagues earlier on, and we were saying that often the Friday night of this is actually better attended than the Saturday for spectators.
Yes.
As Getgate gets Phoenix on the board with a drop down to third man. But yes, the great thing about the women's game last night, the final was on, but it wasn't just members of the 2 competing clubs, Merion, who were triumphant, and Pembroke, who were at home. It wasn't just the members of their club. You saw players coming from the other teams, and that's great to see that support.
That was really encouraging to see, like all the players who were coming to support their colleagues from Cricket Ireland players, loads of Cricket Ireland players yesterday.
Yep, loads of the Irish side and lots of interprovincial players as well.
Yes.
And Singh gets off the mark first ball. And a very steady start this to the second game here at Sydney Parade today.
It'll be interesting to see if Singh gets off this afternoon. He didn't quite make it in the morning, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yes, indeed. Getgate and Singh, comparatively, but only compared with what came afterwards, George Dockrell scoring a century off of not very many deliveries with a huge amount, more 6s than 4s.
Yes.
And Tyrone Kane as well, chipping in with 89. So that got them up to 230, which was always going to be a tough one for the Hills to chase. But they gave it a good go.
I thought Hills gave it a good go at the end, and they made around 213, was it?
215.
215.
So they lost by 16 runs in the end, which doesn't sound like much, but I think they were always behind the 8 ball and always chasing the game. And the same happened to Malahide here at Sydney Parade against Leinster. They were chasing the game and as a result lost a plethora of wickets towards the end as they just went for it. And they needed 20, well, they needed 11 overs. They needed 33 from the last 3 overs and they ended up falling short. Johnson was the player of the match in that first semi-final. He scored 66 when Leinster looked in a bit of trouble. And they ended up putting together a very good score and it got them through to this final. Mark Tonge now bowling from the nursery end. One of the innovations Niles brought in for today is a camera at each end. He's becoming more and more professional.
Indeed.
And the service he provides, absolutely superb. He does so for Pembroke during the season, but on these occasions for Cricket Leinster, I think he pushes the boat out a little bit further.
And that's hugely appreciated by Cricket Leinster.
And would certainly explain why Pembroke keep getting finals.
Yes.
So, Tonge now. He bowled from the nursery end earlier as well. And this game just seems to be off to a more sedate start than perhaps the semi-finals were. But with silverware on the line, perhaps there's a bit more nerves amongst the players.
Yes. So talking of presidency, where you were asking how I'm enjoying it, it's absolutely wonderful to see. I'm excited about even more excited. I was telling Emma yesterday in Cricket Ireland in the interview, it's lovely to see.
Well, good bit of fielding, but a quick single taken and taken well. They get through for another one. Here is a replay of this single. The ball pushed out into the offside, into the onside rather. And you can see they're quick to take the single, even though it went straight to the fielder's hands and safely in, even without the indirect hit on the ball.
It's lovely to see some newer clubs forming women's teams, and Tyrrellstown had their first women's team this year. Ongar, first women's team. Adamstown continuing with the women's. Carlow is planning to field a women's team next year. So it's lovely to see those progress.
It's great to see that movement in that direction, and it can only be help to the game in general, especially to the women's game, and especially then for the international side. Because
absolutely.
If you've got a bigger pool to pick from, you're going to find more absolute gems in there.
And that's what I was telling the girls yesterday. Yesterday's flagship match was inspirational for not just the people who are here watching, but all the clubs. Oh, that's the first boundary.
4 squirts away. Shane Getgate not missing out. Last ball of the over. 7 from it then, and that is a good over for Phoenix. They're building their way into this innings. Came down and just powered it through the covers. Lovely shot. Ends up, well, without that hedge in the way, Philip Smith could have fielded that one. He's ensconced underneath a gazebo. Like us, it's good to stay out of the direct sunlight, I think, at this stage. 2 overs gone then, 9 without loss. So we're now sort of halfway through the season. Have you much planned for the second half?
Yes, my August is filled with visiting Premier and Championship matches and finals, a lot of finals to catch up. So I have a few more clubs to cover down the country in the next couple of weeks, and then I'll be focusing on another boundary.
That one flashing away through the offside. Singh joining his partner in finding the ropes, and suddenly Phoenix feel like they're back at Anglesey Road in the semi-final. They're scoring freely here at the moment. There
was some smash hit being played this afternoon during the innings break. Few kids playing the Smash It. That was interesting. That was good to see.
Anything that gets the kids out and running around.
Absolutely.
Having been a parent, now a parent of adults, but when I was a parent of children, keeping them occupied as much as anything else. Lovely shot.
Wow.
And it's gone into the crowd. There's been a bit of scattering and maybe caught on the shoulder there, but that's a super shot from Singh, and he's put that one. You just can't afford to bowl short, and this is where Mundra gets this one slightly wrong. 4 had come off the first ball, and now Singh just lifts it around the corner, and you can see a little scattering of people. Attempted catch. And that's a good shot. And straight away, the run rate up to a runner ball. And of course, even when the season finishes, your term doesn't finish. You've still got loads to do.
Yes, we have the indoor league.
Flashing past a diving point. They'll only get a single from it, but that's first opportunity perhaps. If the player had been a little more to his right, it could have been straight to him, but instead it flew away and the boundary rider staved the boundary.
Even the players have their shelters today, which is they're all well protected from the sun.
Oh, that one pops up in the air and the catch is taken and Gate departs. He seemed to be taken by surprise by that delivery. His head seemed to shoot back and he's left the bat there. It's taken the shoulder and has just bounced up and straight into the hands of the fielder. And that's the first wicket down with 20 on the board. And Mundra, well, he had success in the first game. And now he's had success in his second over of the final. Good time to start performing. He'd gone for 2 boundaries, but what a reply back. Just that sudden jump, you can see he tried to drop his hands away from it. It wasn't to be, and it makes for the simplest of catches. And Mundra picks up his first, as do Leinster. Leinster, of course, would be well aware that Phoenix has scored 230 in the semi-final, and will be determined to make sure that doesn't happen again. And the ground announcement of the wicket taker. We'll turn up the ground mics a little bit, as long as Mick Cotter's music doesn't overwhelm us.
It's Tyrone Kane.
Yes, coming in at number 3. He scored 89 in the semi-final. He'd love to repeat that again. Phoenix, who have beaten Civil Service, Railway, Merion and the Hills to reach this spot in the final.
Leinster would try to stop Tyrone from performing like the way he did this morning.
They'd certainly hope to get him early, but he's underway from the first delivery. Just a wide delivery played away square on the offside, and he just trots through for a single. So as you were saying, you have the indoor league during the winter.
We have the indoor leagues, and also the youth matches will all happen till September, first week of September. So we have a lot of actions happening. We'll also be planning for our awards night.
Yes, that will be, I presume, again in the Mansion House.
Mansion House, yes, January 2026. We look forward to that, and tickets will go on sale in August. So,
and they usually sell out quite quickly,
yes,
don't they?
Quite quickly. Like last 2 years, it was a sellout.
Great to see.
It's our flagship event.
A night of celebrations. It's a fabulous evening.
Absolutely.
I've been to a few myself. I remember the days when it was in Old Belvedere and back in the day, and but the Mansion House, my goodness, that's a super venue for it.
Superb venue.
Right, 3 overs gone, 22 for the loss of that 1 wicket.
This weekend there are exciting games this weekend as well for some of our Leinster teams in the National Cup and the Senior Cup. And
well, in the Bob Kerr, Malahide who lost this morning to Leinster in the T20, but they'll be taking on Clontarf.
Yes.
In the Bull Ring tomorrow. So, yeah, busy day for them.
Busy day. And then Balbriggan.
Balbriggan are also in there.
Yep.
The one I'm delighted with, I have to say, is the National Cup semi-final. Carrickfergus are entertaining County Kerry.
Yes.
I think it's great for Irish cricket that it's reaching its reach is extended as far as the kingdom. Oh, another one that's gone straight up in the air, and the wicketkeeper takes it, and Singh departs. 22 for 2, and Tonge picks up a wicket, and that is a big blow to Phoenix. Now, it's a blow that they overcame in the semi-final with the arrival of George Dockrell to the middle, and I suspect it will be George coming out now. But that's not ideal for Phoenix. 22 for 2.
No. Leinster is looking happy at the moment.
Well, Singh just getting a leading edge, and it just went straight up in the air, and the simplest of catches for the keeper. He's made that. And 22 for 2 in just the 4th over. And Leinster again off to a good start. With the ball, that is. With the bats, they weren't so great. 53 for 3. It took them 10 overs to get to that far. So how they ended up at 160, well, would be worth a re-watch on the YouTube channel. But now they have Phoenix 22 for 2. They'll be delighted, but they'll be very wary as well. These two, as I say, George scored a century with multiple sixes, and Tyrone Kane 89. So if they can break this partnership early, Leinster will really feel that they're in with a chance.
Yes, indeed.
Bit of a breeze today, unlike yesterday, and that's keeping the temperatures at bearable. Well, there's a bit of chirp amongst the Leinster players now. They realise that this is a good time for them. If they can get either one of these two cheaply, they'll have done a lot of the hard work for Leinster. Tonge will be delighted at picking up that wicket. He was a bit critical, self-critical after the first game. There could be trouble here. Oh, if that had hit, he'd have been in real trouble. I was actually watching the fielder, because the fielder obviously took that on his fingers, and you could see he's bent down now, and he's not happy. Look, you see there, it bounced so far off his hand. He's done something there he's not happy with. Now, it could be it's just a knock and a dry mouth syndrome. But hopefully he'll be okay. Azar will be needed to bowl later on, so one hopes he hasn't damaged his hand too badly.
Yeah, he's still down, so...
He's not happy with it, is he?
Yeah, no.
I think that'll be iced during the interval, but not right now. Good ball from Tonge.
Is that Bilal?
It is.
One to come of this over.
Well, Tonge just one ball away now from a wicket maiden, which in a T20 is quite amazing, really. But he's keeping Dockrell quiet there. 3 balls faced.
And he got it. Wicket maiden.
Another good ball to finish the over. Wicket maiden. 22 for 2. Oh, what a good over that was for Leinster. 4 overs gone then, 22 for 2. To all you Australians out there, I'm sure you can do a Richie Benaud impression of 22 for 2 better than I can. So I'll leave you to do that at home. That was his favourite number. All the twos. The late, great Richie Benaud. People starting to make their way down now, the crowd growing somewhat as the sun sort of goes from its hottest. But I still think people will be looking for shade today.
It's Moondra. It's Moondra again.
Into his third over. What they did in the first game, Leinster, was they let him bowl his 4 all the way through.
Yeah.
And he took wickets. He did a super job. He had three or 4 wickets in that first 4 overs.
It'll be interesting to see, is that the same pattern going to continue here? Of bowling him out.
Well, there's an appeal against Kane there, but everything stays in his favour. Yeah, both openers back in the shed already. I always feel sorry for opening batsmen, especially if you're bat first and you're out first ball. All you've got to look forward to then is overs and overs of fielding and watching your colleagues do what you should have done earlier on. Moondra again, he's getting a good bit of lift, and the left arm angle also helping him greatly. In the first game he was pitching it up a bit more, but he was getting it to swing back into the right hander. Not as much swing now, but he is causing them problems and making them think about the shots they're playing.
We have to give it to the grounds team here at GM by Choice. Fantastic job, because 3 days in a row there were matches happening. So fantastic teamwork by everybody in GM by Choice.
Well, you see the pitch that's just to the left, 2 to the left of the one we're playing on. That's where the Interprovincial Festival was, just out on that side. And also last night's final was played out that way. They've moved the games today in by 2 pitches.
Yes.
It did mean a bit of work for us in the media side of things, resetting up the cameras to be directly in line. But I think you appreciate the effort put in, our viewers. Well, this is another good over. We had a wicket maiden. We've had another 3 dot balls here now. And you get the feeling Phoenix just being a bit cautious and perhaps waiting for the end of Moondra. This is his 3rd of 4 overs. Will they let him bowl the 4th? They did in the semi-final, or will they hold an over back now? Oh, just evading the keeper. I think he got a hand to it, couldn't hold on to it. But that was, well, a typical Tyrone Kane shot. He's not afraid to take on the short delivery, and usually does so with great success. But on this occasion, well, wasn't quite there. Came off perhaps the glove, and the keeper couldn't quite hang on to it. And a chance goes down. And that was one of the features of the first game here, was the number of chances that went down in the first innings. Malahide's catching not quite up to senior standard, one would say. Another dot ball.
George still not off the mark.
No, but you get the feeling that George could face about 5 overs without scoring a run, and by 7 overs he'd have caught up.
Absolutely.
And be back to a runner ball. He just has that capacity inside. Massive, clean hitter.
Absolutely, that's what we saw this morning.
Yeah. Yep. So it was good for them. And now Tolnish also on for his 3rd. And the score has moved on to 23 for 2. Just 1 run coming off that over.
Talking of National Cup, it's good to see. We were when the fixtures were now first announced, when the semi-finals happened. During the quarter-finals, there were no Leinster teams, and then Terranure. It's a 4. It's a boundary.
You see, that's the sort of hitting that they are very capable of, these two, and which they demonstrated in the first semi-final. But a lovely straight hit from Tyrone Kane, and you see it here on your screen. It's just power. The umpire just making sure he's not in the way, and then there was nothing else to stop it before it crashed into the advertising boards at the nursery end. As always, when you get a boundary from the first ball, how much pressure does that put on the bowler after that?
Absolutely.
Good reply from Tolnish, though, getting 1 through to the keeper. So when is it a 1-year term?
It's a one-year term, yes. It's a one-year term which ends January 26.
And would you recommend that it become a 2-year term, because is 1 year enough to get everything done that you want to get done? Or do you think 2 years would be too long?
I think 2 years. 2 years would be great, because you start off something like, what I did was I worked with Siobhan last year.
Right.
And I worked with her, and we kind of did a
plan. Well, that's good. I mean, that's good from Siobhan's point of view, because it means anything she started, she's handing on, knowing that something's going to happen with it. And my fear is, if you're only there for a year and you say, I want to bring in this initiative.
Yes.
And it works well for 1 year, and then the next president goes, oh, was that the president? Oh, that was meant to be me. And then it falls away.
Absolutely.
So the gains you make during a presidency sometimes then slip away. And that's why I just suggest that maybe Cricket Leinster might consider a 2-year.
2-year.
Just because it takes you 6 months to get into the role, doesn't it?
Yeah. And as you know, cricket season is quite short.
Yes.
So you only start action. By the time you start action, it'll be like April, May, by the time you start action. And then you only have up until August. So it's quite a short stint in terms of active field work for the ambassador role, which we do. So it'll be good to have 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's something which I would recommend to Cricket Leinster. I'll be working with our incoming president, Brian Kelleher, in August.
Okay.
To hand over.
Oh, another one that's up in the air.
No.
And this one reaches the safety of the turf, finds a space in the outfield. There were a few players in the area. Nobody thought it was theirs. And as a result, they get through for another single. Here it is again. You see Kane, he's get it quite high on the bat. Or sorry, Dockrell gets it quite high on the bat. But he does find that space with no fielder in it. And they pick up another run. Well, Ton's just done really well. We were talking about the pressure he was under, having conceded a boundary from the first ball. But he's only conceded one more single since then.
Yeah.
And it's a good over from him, especially if he can get away with this now. Just a single here. Oh, there's a yes-no call. And Tyrone Kane, in thinking about a second, has left himself short of his ground. And just like the first game, we saw Leinster give away 3 run-outs. This time they've pulled one back. They've got the run-out themselves. A third wicket has fallen. Tyrone Kane is on his way. And the score now 28 for 3. And that is the end of the power play. That is exactly the time you don't want to lose a wicket. Power play over at 6 overs. So they're in a difficult position. So where do you think this is going to go now? Just before you slip away. I'm not going to make you predict a score or anything, but you think this is going to be a close one?
I think it's going to be a close one.
I hope so.
I really hope so.
Yep, it's going well
I
so
think
far.
Phoenix will pull up. It's going so well so far. To me, it's leaning towards Leinster, but early days.
Yeah, I mean, this is always the question, isn't it? Who's winning? No, this is cricket. We have no idea who's winning
until the last ball.
Absolutely.
Until the last ball, anything can happen.
Well, Mina, thank you very much for joining us, and perhaps you'll come back to us for the second innings, and we'll see how our predictions have gone, and we'll see how we get on.
Thank you so much, Craig.
Thank you very much.
It was an interesting experience here, sitting in the commentary.
You'll come again.
Thank you.
We'll get you down to a Pembroke game as well.
I will.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Mina takes her leave and goes to enjoy some more sunshine and hospitality, and to carry on with her role as CL president. I'm now joined back in the box by Andrew Pointer. Andrew, an interesting first 6 overs, but I want to take you to the last ball of those 6 overs. What happened there?
Yeah, seemed to be a bit of a mix-up, and the old adage of never run on a misfield seemed to be the demise of Tyrone Kane.
Scored 89 in the semi-final, was looking quite comfortable, but it was a yes, no, sorry situation.
Yeah, here it is there. He's bouncing away, a little slight fumble, but the ball goes right in front of Joey Carroll. So it's not a massive misfield. And Tyrone's just a little bit short of his ground with a good throw from Joe Carroll.
Well, that brings Jay Cotgreave to the wicket. 3 down, 30 runs on the board. And the introduction of Ben Mitchell for the first over outside the power play.
Interesting as well with how George Dockrell's played. He, from what I've heard, he was about 10 off 10 over in the other semi-final in Merion, and then got 80 or 90 off the next 25 balls, including some absolutely ginormous sixes. So he's going a bit slower than that at the moment, but we might see some fireworks if he gets a few balls pitched up to him.
Oh, again, such a clean hitter that if he does get in, one expects there will be a few runs scored. He's proved time and time again at Pembroke, whether it be in the blue of Leinster or the black of Phoenix, that by golly, when he hits a ball, it stays hit.
Yeah, there's not many cleaner strikers of a ball than George at the moment. He, especially when you just miss your length, you can go over your head for plenty. I haven't seen much of his partner Cotgrave, apart from he hit one of the biggest sixes I've ever seen in Castle Avenue a few weeks ago. It hit the houses at the LP Hughes end.
Oh.
You get hit sixes into the gardens, but this one hit the roof. It was absolutely ginormous straight.
I may have been at that game. When you talk about the Hughes end, that's down the hill.
Up the hill.
Up the hill. Oh, he hit the houses up the hill?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That must be massive, because I was out in Castle Avenue recently for a league game and a Bob Kerr game, and one of the sixes hit there was down the hill, but again, it cleared the ground, it cleared the fence, it cleared the first house, I think, before it finally landed. But there is some big hitting going on. That's the way of the game now.
It's evolved so much that you just have to be able to clear the ropes if you're a modern batsman at the moment. Used to be able to get away with just nudging and nerding and sneak a few fours here and there, but
no more, can you?
No, you get found out very quickly.
Well, 7 overs gone now. 30 for 3, 31 for 3, and kind of similar to the first semi-final we saw here at Sydney Parade. And the question being, can Phoenix make the same sort of recovery that Leinster did and post a good score?
Yeah, both very similar to both innings in the semi-final, wasn't it? They were.
Yeah, everyone was slow off the marks.
Yeah, and 3 down, and this 4th wicket partnership. Maybe Malahide's was a 5th wicket partnership, but that was the partnership that was the big one in the innings.
Leinster, it was the 4th wicket that really got them going. Whereas, well, Malahide never really got going. They caused themselves no end of problems. Difference between the two sides in the first game, I felt, was fielding.
Yeah, definitely.
Both sides batted well. Both sides bowled okay, but it was the fielding of Leinster that I feel got them to this final. Whereas Phoenix will be saying it was the aggression of their batsmen that got them to the final. And even with scoring 231, they only won by 16 runs. It still was tighter than perhaps they thought it would have been. Yeah,
from speaking to a few, both Phoenix and Hills guys in between the games, there was a lot of time it was in the Hills' hands that they were going to win that game. Especially when Nathan Rooney was going. Apparently he was smacking it to all parts.
Yeah, well able for that as well.
Yeah, he's a good, clean striker with a cricket ball, Nathan.
Well, we saw Bilal earlier on. He took a blow to the hand in doing some fielding. But luckily enough, it was his right hand. And again, the non-striker, eager to take a start on a single, and being sent back very quickly.
Something's got to give here. Both batsmen are 1 from 7 balls, trying to set a target in a T20 final. I don't know if it will be an explosion of runs or a wicket here, but I think something's got to happen soon.
More good fielding from Leinster, but Phoenix home safely. Yeah, you're quite right. There's an air of expectation that can't go on like this anymore. Too many dot balls, and if the batsmen chase after it, they're going to miss it and be out, and we're going to lose more wickets, or are they going to connect and suddenly the score will go bouncing up?
Yeah, I'm not sure where I'd put my money, what's going to happen, but I think something will happen very soon.
Yeah, it's one of those games where your wallet stays firmly closed. You never see a broke bookmaker. That's a nice shot through the offside. All the fielder can do there is watch it hit the hedges. And that's 4 more runs, and that will bring a bit more of Mick Cotter's Friday night music.
Yeah, Bilal looking to go full. Looks like he might even roll his fingers on that to be a slower ball, but George hits it just to the right of extra cover. And that part of the boundary is quite small and quick. 4 runs, George Dockrell. The thing I think will be interesting is, have Leinster got a little bit of the upper hand because they played here already this morning?
Yeah, having to adapt to a new surface as a
Yeah.
batsman, or even as a bowler.
Yeah, both teams are getting 220 odd in Merion. It's obviously a very, very good wicket, and this is not a good wicket, but it's a bit different, and I just think that might play into Leinster's hands, that they know straight away what will work and what might not work, because they've already played the first game here this morning.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much different from their bowlers. They haven't sort of said, oh, we were bowling the wrong length early on and we need to bring it back a bit or push it on a bit. But 8 overs gone now. That's a good over for Phoenix. 9 runs coming from it. 40 for 3 after 8. And these two now starting. Well, you get the feeling that Dockrell is just enjoying himself at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's going relatively risk-free as well. Those 2 boundaries have been all along the ground and no chance of getting a wicket.
Jim, if you come in at 14. Yeah, it was interesting having the president sat here, and she was talking about her season and how she's visiting all the outgrounds, and fair play to her, because I don't think she's getting mileage either, and there's a lot of grounds out there.
Yeah, they're all some tricky places to get to as well in Leinster cricket, so yeah, it's fair play. She's definitely been very visible in her time as president.
I certainly loved the old Leinster handbook, produced years ago before the internet, and you'd have instructions like, if you've reached the SO garage, you've gone too far.
Oh, throw out the stumps.
Oh, that was close. But Cotgrave gets through. We'll see how close that was. Then Mitchell into his second over, and again just attacking outside that off stump, catching the inside edge of the bat, and it was close but not close enough. One onto the pads. Mitchell asking the question, but not with any great conviction. I think he was about halfway through the appeal, and he replayed it in his own mind, did his own DRS, and found out that it wasn't to be.
Yeah, it's when you realise that you're the only person appealing, and
Yeah.
you're in too deep, aren't you?
Got to keep going. Oh, big swing of the bat on this occasion. But the ball just staying outside the outside edge. Another dot ball. I was saying early on to Nina that we had a wicket made and then 3 dot balls afterwards. It was the quietest part of the day we've had so far.
Yeah, nine dots in a row. That's unheard of, really, isn't it?
In a final of a T20, certainly not what you'd expect. He rolled his hand over that one, and a nice bit of fielding saved some runs. Very well done.
Be interesting to hear what George is thinking. I imagine he's probably thinking that he can't really lose a wicket, but a lot of the pressure's on him because we're only scoring at his end at the moment.
Well, now you know what was on his mind. Let's go and go big. And he certainly did that. He's been waiting for the right ball, I think. And on this occasion, it was right in his arc.
That is George Dockrell to a tee there, isn't it? Right in the slot and parks it over mid-on for a maximum.
49 for 3. The last ball of the 9th over. And another big shot again. And this one runs into the sight screen. And 12 from the last 2 deliveries suggests that George Dockrell has played himself in and is now thinking about how many he can score.
Yeah, high, full toss here from Mitchell. Might not be far off a no ball there on the replay, but wasn't called, and George deposits it into the side screen. Might be the little boost that they need to get themselves going. That couple of 4s in the previous over and a couple of 6s in that one.
Oh yeah, 15 runs coming from that over. And there's a big difference between 40 for 3 and 55 for 3, plus how good George will be feeling now that, oh, actually, I am finding the middle. This isn't too different to Merion. But he has, sort of, as you say, he took his time over those first few runs, 10 off 10 or whatever. He's now striking at close to 200. Not quite. Not quite where the batsman wanted to hit it, but he got a single for it anyway. George signalling to the sidelines. He's looking to change his bat. I presume it's his bat. It's a bit early for his gloves, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe he got that a little bit, the last 6 a little bit high off the bat and...
Didn't feel right, didn't sound right,
yeah,
whatever it may be.
Maybe the handle's kind of gone a little. Sometimes you get the ball, if you're trying to hit it hard, especially and it's up near the stickers, it can damage the handle, so...
You don't tend to get that one that vibrates up through the hands these days. I don't know if it's how bats are made now as compared to before, but I can remember you used to get one, if you mistimed it, it just judded in your hands and left an awful sort of feeling.
Especially when it was a bit cold as well.
Let's be honest, playing cricket in Ireland.
Most days.
Most days it's cold. Balil to continue from the nursery end with his left armers. He can appeal again if he wants. The umpire's only going to signal it as wide. I mean, once you'd appealed once and the umpire hadn't said anything, the other 2 appeals doing nothing but just wind up the umpire.
Yeah.
This is going down the leg side. It looked close. He was happy enough. You could see the umpire's arms were already going. He reckoned that there was no touch there. Azar feels hard done by.
Yeah, there was... I couldn't hear any noises or anything like that, but...
And usually the ground mike's quite good at picking that sort of thing up.
But a couple of fielders and the wicketkeeper seemed convinced there was something there. Maybe it was more just the magnitude of the wicket. They get George out before halfway in the overs, then they're onto a winner.
Yeah, they've done a good job if that's the case, but the umpire not agreeing with their assessment. And let's be honest, it's only his that matters, despite the excellent appealing. Another good ball on the stumps, but again, played away. And Dockrell, well, perhaps it was the earlier run out that makes him a bit more cautious this time.
Yeah, I think when you're on that side of the ground as well, you're always looking for 2. There might not be 2, but as we said in the first game, it can be a little bit bumpy out there at times. You want to push just in case there is a fumble.
Always run the first one quickly. Good, loud, decisive calling. That's the way to avoid the run-outs. And as we approach the halfway mark in this first innings of the final, it's hard to know who feels they're on top. One more wicket, you say Leinster on top, but another 10 runs, you'd say perhaps Phoenix are on top.
Yeah, I think it's right in the balance at the moment.
Short ball, pulled away to cow corner, along the ground. George started off by jogging the single, but then started picking up pace as he suddenly thought, oh, there might be two. But the clean fielding, as you say, prevents that.
I think that's where I'd be stationing my best fielder, on that boundary out there. One, because it's pretty large and you need a good throwing arm and quick to the ball, but two, it can be a bit bumpy out there.
One that just comes up off the edge of Cotgreave's bat, squirts out in the offside, ends the 10th over. We're halfway through the first innings, 60 for 3. And just by comparison, bears absolutely no resemblance or effect on this game at all. But in the first semi-final here played, it was 53 for 3, so they're slightly ahead of that. And in reply, Malahide had reached 68 for 4. So it's all pretty much, they're all pretty much playing the pitch the same way.
Yeah, very similar scores, aren't they?
As I say, makes absolutely no difference at all. This is not financial services. Past performance is not an indicator of future performance. The value of your total may go up or down depending on your fielding. 61 for 3 at the halfway mark then. And as I say, now's not the time to be predicting final scores because, well, the first semi-final showed us how futile that would be.
Yeah, we were thinking double the score, 120 would be a good score. And
we were saying, wow, if they manage to score 10 overs and 8 and over, they will double their score. No, it wasn't to be. They went well past that. Nicely played. They will take 2 this time. And they get there. Dockrell running probably closer to 32 yards for the second single.
He's taking his time getting back there. I don't think he didn't do much running, I know, in Merion, but I'd say he's pretty tired. It is incredibly hot here today.
Cut away, square on the offside. Of course, when you see the sun coming out, you see the selection of sun hats around.
That's a beauty that's just walked past.
Oh, Billy Gallagher wearing one that you'd lose him in a garden, wouldn't you?
Wouldn't look out of place at Glastonbury or somewhere like that.
Just push down the ground. Mundra does the fielding. One thing I have noticed, Mundra, on his shirt it's M-U-N-D-R-A, and on the live score it's M-O-O.
Yeah. Now you say that, yeah. I've spotted that too, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Perhaps the person putting the numbers and letters on charges by the letter. He thought, well, just give me a U. That means the same.
Jürgen Klinsmann was my favourite player. My mum used to give out when it was paid by the letter on the back of your top. Oh,
that's a good shot. And it's just landed in front of the fielder. He made a great effort to get to it. And one of the safer ways of doing it, I suppose, is diving over the ball but leaving your hands down to take the catch. Sort of protecting the face a bit, but he gets away with one there.
Yeah, it was a pretty good effort, especially Bilal was the fielder that took that nasty blow at mid-off from George early on, wasn't it?
He did, and this time he's shaking his left hand. He's doing as much damage to his body. He's now on the right hand and the left hand. So stop the right hand hurting if you're worried about the left hand. $11 overs gone, 8 coming from that one.
I think there would have been some celebration if he'd
held
managed
on
to catch that,
Ooh.
both for who it was and for how good a catch it would have been as well.
12 overs in, the Leinster skipper turns to Joey Carroll. His wealth of experience. We saw it in the first game today, the semi-final.
Interesting that he's only come on in the 12th over.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? He can bowl up as far as the 18th.
Yeah.
Is that the intention, do you think? Will he bowl 4 in a row? Have they brought him on 2 overs too early and they wanted him to bowl through to the end?
I think it's a big ask to bowl 4 overs in one go at the back end of an innings, especially to someone as clean a striker as George. I think if you bowled a couple overs in a row of the same bowler, George is going to be thinking, how can he line you up and hit you for 4 or 6?
Yeah, well, once you'd seen about 4 of my balls, I'd expect the rest of them to be going into low orbit. But yes, we were talking earlier about how the trend used to be just an over at a time per bowler, and that seems to have gone by now, by and large. Nice shot down the ground. Again, another single taken. These two starting to put together a good partnership now. They've put on 41, score 69 for 3, 70 for 3. Live scorer making a liar of me again. It's almost like we've hit a lull before the final assault, but after the initial getting into the game.
Yes.
And it's about this sort of time, 12th over onwards, I suppose, that the first semi-final saw fireworks commence.
Yeah, I think George is just kind of jostling them into position here. And Cotgreave has definitely upped his strike rate. I think George is probably waiting for him just to maybe feel a little bit more comfortable before he really goes. And anything pitched up is definitely going back over your head and over the sight screen with George batting.
Nice shot again, but well set field means that there's only a single, although an errant throw. Could have gone for more, didn't on this occasion. Yeah, definitely a bit more comfortable today with a bit of a breeze, sea breeze coming in from Dublin Bay. The cold air rushing over railway and then just turning into a pleasant breeze on this side of Park Avenue. Oh! Well, well, well. That is a big moment in the game, one feels. On the stumps, lifted, holding the pose. And the fielder, you can see the wicketkeeper's response.
You could have run him out as well with a better throw.
Well, well, well. Nothing going right there for Leinster. They created the opportunity, unable to take it. 12 overs gone, 73 for 3.
I think that's one of the more straightforward opportunities. If you'd said to them having breakfast this morning, you get a catch like that off George Dockrell when he's on 28, everyone will be hoping that comes to them.
Yeah. Yeah. How much of a difference will that make now? Inside edge onto the pads. Looking to push it out into the leg side. There are a couple of boundary riders there, but I get the idea that all he wants to do really is get Dockrell back on strike.
Yeah, I think so too.
This one pushed down the ground. Mission accomplished. Crowd starting now to build in front of the bar at Sydney Parade. Another one played down the ground, and this one reaches the boundary, runs under the sight screen. 4 more runs, and you can see why Cotgrave wanted Dockrell on strike.
Yeah, you've got to be really pinpoint on your length to George. If he can get his hands through it, he is going to try and aim for the sight screen, and he does it really well at that, off that ball there. Phoenix's running has been erratic at best, hasn't it?
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any clear calling. It's almost by negotiation of, yeah, there's a single there. So anything that's tight, they're looking at each other with hesitation. How are you going to call?
Oh, unlucky.
Great effort by Moondra to stop the ball crossing the boundary. He's certainly slowed it down, but not enough. And it gets away for 4 runs.
Yeah, just a little bit back of length. Nice shot. Pick that pocket out, but great effort. Unfortunately, just doesn't quite get enough of it. Or just as you look up, it just trickles onto the boundary rope. It's so frustrating.
Again, multiple appeals. Umpire will just give him back his extra clothing and sunglasses. And there is the effort. Oh, it's so infuriating when you've put in a big dive and the ball's momentum just enough to take it to the line. And then there's the final delivery. And Bahadur deciding that that was worth an appeal. He thinks it hit the foot before the bat. The umpire not agreeing with him. And another 10 off the over.
I think the wicketkeeper really agreed with him either. He kind of just put his hand up like he was asking a question rather than an appeal.
Can I leave the field, sir? 83 for 3, 13 gone, 7 to go. I do think I can be brave enough to say I don't think they're going to get to 200 again. Joey Carroll dropping one in halfway down the pitch. I think he got away with that a bit because the fielder out there, he's covering some ground, but it was hit straight to him. Well bowled. Carroll leaving the batsman no room at all.
Seems to be a real tactic that Jerry Carroll's going for, this sort of back of a length and get hit sideways. He's got mid-off up and third man up, so he wants to get hit to that bigger side on the leg side.
2 men on the boundary on that side. The trap is set, as they say. Another single taken.
Well executed Yorker. He sees the skills Joey has. He knows exactly what he's doing. This isn't a fluke. Like bowling back or length to the big side or nailing his Yorker so he can't get hit over his head.
Oh, that is a super catch. We often see good catches here at Sydney Parade, but that was casual, but probably the best catch of the day so far.
Definitely, absolutely. Plucked it out of the sky with his left hand there at short third.
It was, again, like putting his hand up for the teacher. It went straight up and the ball met his hand and stayed there. And 86 now for 4. But Cotgrave did a good job of partnering George, trying to get in the strike, and then this happened.
What a catch. He's just put up his left hand and absolutely plucked it out of the sky.
Nonchalant, really.
Yeah.
Super, super catch.
And much needed for Leinster.
Yeah, it's been 8 overs since the last wicket. Those two had started to put together a good partnership. They put on 58, which is a good 4th wicket partnership, but Phoenix would have wanted it to go on even further. Now George goes out to meet the new batsman, having a good chat out there in the middle. You can tell George, as you said, he must be tired after scoring the century earlier today, being asked to do the same thing again. He's now on to 130, 140 runs in his day, and hence the taking off the helmet, any chance, and the gloves, just to try and cool down and take a break.
Yeah, definitely. It's George has played all over the world, but he probably wouldn't have played many days in Dublin where it's 25 plus degrees and not a cloud in the sky.
Well, that's it. It's what we're used to. Comparative to what we're normally used to, it is an absolutely fabulous day, maybe even a record-breaking day. 33.3 in Kilkenny Castle sometime in the 19th century. And that's got to be very close. And the umpire's given it, and Munjal has gone first ball. Came in, had a bit of a chat, and suddenly 86 for 3 has become 86 for 5.
Very clever from Joey Carroll, targeting the stumps, first ball.
Right up in the block hole.
Yeah.
It didn't really give the umpire any chance of turning this down. It was so far up there, bounced on middle, and probably would have taken out middle.
That's one you can walk for, I think, isn't it? It's pretty adjacent, and
except in Division 17 down, where that was not out going down the leg side. No.
I don't think Munjal played in the semi-final. I think he's come in for Adam Chester, dislocated his finger in that semi-final. Oh. So he's probably had a...
Did they put the finger back in?
I think they've struggled to put the finger back in, which is why
he has to miss then. If it goes straight back in, then no problem. But once you start messing around with it and everything starts swelling in there, then yeah, so maybe, well, not the cup final day that he wanted then.
Negotiates the hat-trick ball. I always get really nervous as a fielder on a hat-trick ball. Don't want to be the person that drops on.
I remember playing a game in Trinity, and a young chap, Max Byers, he was a leg spinner, and he took 2 in 2. And we brought the field in and everything else. He'd have been about 15 at the time, 14, 15. Brought all the field in, and the batsman just popped it up, the simplest of catches, and it was put down. And as a 15-year-old, he just went, oh, well. And we're all going, you don't realise how infrequently hat-tricks come around.
Yeah.
They are not an everyday occurrence. But he was so calm about it. These things happen.
He might have been cursing you after, I'm sure.
Oh, it wasn't me that put it down. Right. Andrew's now going to take a small break from the box, and we'll see you back for the conclusion of the game in the second innings. And we will welcome back Jim Bennett. Jim, who's been on the sidelines, has been watching this game. And no doubt he will tell us now how George Dockrell is connected to Fingal cricket. Yeah, you're in the right place. 87 for 5 now. Last 6 overs. Bit different to earlier on, isn't it?
Yes, different to the game in Anglesey Road as well.
That's another one that's gone.
Yep.
My goodness, wickets falling left, right and centre here. They've now lost 3 wickets in 5 balls.
Yeah.
They were 86 for 3, and they are now 87 for 6. It's not quite a Curtis Camphor performance.
No,
but it's going well, and it's being shared around the players.
But in the context of the game.
You're the same as me, Jim. 2 sets of eyewear.
2 sets, yeah. I don't like that bifocus.
No.
Because you could fall. You don't know where
headaches.
your steps are.
Headaches everywhere.
Yeah.
But this has been such a period of play in this final that Phoenix, well, I wouldn't say they're folding up their tents, but they have lost 3 wickets in the last 5 deliveries, and it has certainly changed the complexion of the game. The one thing that, of course, Phoenix will say is George Docker is still there.
George is still there. And
I'm just going to adjust your microphone a bit,
yeah,
Jim.
George is still there and in prime form as well.
And he's doing so well.
Yeah, and the lads were saying he shouldn't be too tired either because he hit so many sixes in Anglesey Road. He wasn't running singles. So 6. Now, I've just talked to some of our lads. They said it was a fantastic game in Anglesey Road. Great chase, great game, great cricket.
And that's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're very philosophical. There was a big score, they nearly got it. That's.
I mean, the Hills will walk away from that saying, yes, we lost a semi-final, but by golly, didn't we give it a good go?
Yeah. The lads were just saying to me, up to the 17th over, they felt they were in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's great.
Nathan Rooney doing very well for the Hills.
Yeah, I was just talking to him there now. I see him going around with a gold chain.
There's a few.
You give them a gold chain when they do well, and you give them a queer shirt if they do badly. They have to wear it for the rest of the day. So he's going around now with a chain, like Maliki.
This one squeezed out.
For a single.
Sidhu. We normally see him in connection with his bowling, and surely Phoenix will be looking for him to do a fabulous job in the second innings. They might need him to do so, but at the moment they need him to hold a bat and to hold up an end.
Have you 120, Craig, would you think?
Well, again, I mean, we tried that guessing game in the first semi-final, but I think at the moment, well, Phoenix will probably, if you offered them 130, oh, there we go, George is now on his way. If you offered them 140...
to take the hand off you. Yeah.
They might be happy enough with that, although George might say, hang on a second, I think I can get to 140 by myself.
Yeah.
That's a big shot. It's gone into the gardens. Here it is. He's just got underneath it. You can't leave anything short like that.
No, halfway down the
George
wicket.
He had plenty of time, and he's picked out a garden, and he could have picked out whichever garden he wanted.
Yeah.
Big 6. We'll get a new ball brought in. And the Phoenix batsmen, well, they're being offered a drink. And again, 12th man coming on the field with very little pretense of anything apart from giving a message.
Yeah, just get on with it, or as the case may be, or stay there, one or the other.
He came out, the 12th man came out earlier on with a bat and gloves.
Yeah.
Nobody took a bat. Well, I think George took a bat, but he came out with gloves and a drink. Nobody took a drink and nobody took a glove. And you're only coming out with a message.
Yeah.
And I think the umpires were a little bit sort of iffy about that. This one.
Well fielded.
Oh, that's a nice bit of fielding
Well
in the ring.
Well fielded.
That always makes you feel good as a bowler.
Oh yeah, fair that the lads are into it. How did Mina get on? She got on great.
She was here.
She loved it.
I hope she enjoyed it.
She loved it. Yeah. Very complimentary.
I'm sure people watching were interested to hear what it's like being president, if nothing else.
Yeah, well, I had that chat with her this morning. Just said that about 90% is the same, but the last 10% you do yourself. That's your thing for the year, whatever it is. And she has defined that as going around to all the clubs, which is fantastic.
I was going to say to you, Jim, I mentioned it to Mina, and it was just a sort of general question that I asked. Is the term of a year right?
I think it's too short.
There we go.
But part of the problem, Greg, is that...
There's so many people queuing up to be president.
And no, you start in April, really.
Yeah, but you're appointed in January.
Yeah, but you start in April and you're finished really in September unless you go to the dinners.
Yeah.
But you only have 6 months.
Yep.
And once the job ceased to be a working job, see, now it's an honorary one.
Yeah.
See, when it was like Roland Bradley and Derek Dockrell and these lads, they were managing directors. They were CEOs.
Well, they were. Yeah. They
now,
were
now you
running
needed
the
to be
place.
retired.
Now you're just shaking hands and
Shaking hands, giving out a few medals, and so. But the last 10-15% is your own thing.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. If you were a groundsman, you'd be making sure the wickets are looked. If it's youth or whatever you're.
I was sort of saying it must be hard because you've only got that short period of time. That if you start an initiative, you've no way of making sure that it continues past your presidency.
No, you actually don't do it, Craig. You don't. You. It's an honorary job, and you look on it as a sort of a retirement gift. Now you're finished. I mean, Lord of Mercy on Des Cashley said there's nobody has passed as a past president. You cease to exist, So you do it and you move on, and it's lovely. It's a great honour, and you're delighted to do it. But no, the initiatives come from the chair, not from the president.
No, but as I say, Mina has decided to visit all the clubs.
That's her thing, yes, and she's been fantastic and extremely generous with her time.
Oh, there's another lovely shot.
Beautiful?
That's into Murphy's house.
Isn't that beautiful?
It might have hit the house next door, actually, but that's a super shot, and that ball didn't last long at all. Another 6 runs brings up the 100.
There you are. That's beautiful. We were here 2 years ago when that house was being built at the back.
Oh, the media centre.
And it was peppered on one of the days. A fella nearly fell off whatever roof he was on.
Yes, I was here that
day. And there was a friend of mine who's a roofer suggested that they were on the wrong angle. So we actually had to have that discussion as to whether the water was going to get in there. These are the things we talk about at cricket matches. But it was... They were peppered, and there were lads on the roof. I was very worried for them, actually, when the lightning are on song.
And again, I think their nationality was such that cricket wouldn't be totally alien to them, and they have no idea of the danger they're in.
No, because more often than not, if you get hit at a cricket match, you're probably not looking at the game.
Yeah.
More often than not, your attention is elsewhere or wherever. That you have to be, especially with the ball, with the weight of the ball, and how hard they're hitting it nowadays.
It's amazing. You tell people, oh yeah, the ball is 5.5 ounces, and they immediately, that's very light.
That's not too bad, yeah.
That's not too, but it's travelling at 100 miles.
It's the speed that it's travelling at, and with how powerful the men are now, with both
the bats,
condition and the bats. I mean, the discussion in Cricket Joke this week about the bowlers and wickets, and so. I mean, it's very true. I mean, you really need to let the bowlers onto committees, and to present this batters, and batting fielding restrictions, all the rest. I think they should have a long, hard look at.
Well, this one just
pumped in
halfway down the pitch by Joey Carroll, and that one comes back after just a single. He'll be happy enough.
Because I met Simon Corlett at North Down, and he couldn't see any reason why they didn't allow ball tampering.
Yeah.
That even things up.
It certainly is weighted in favour of batsmen.
Nowadays, the game has changed completely.
You've got all this IPL stuff of 6s and 4s, and boundaries have come in, and bowlers are restricted. And I think one of the good things is the way they use a different ball at each end now. It's not the case in the Irish Senior Cup, but in the Leinster leagues, they're using a ball at each end, and I think that is starting to help the bowlers. Personally, I'd like to see everybody back in whites with a red ball that could be shined.
Yeah, because the lads are saying that the white ball does nothing.
Yep, and nobody shines it anymore.
Yeah, you can't be bothered.
No, because you can't see a shine. The red ones, you could see the contrast of the two sides. But now it's impossible to know which side to shine, or are you doing the right sort of shining, and all sorts of things. So.
And 6s should be a novelty.
Yeah, not 3 and over.
Not mundane. I mean, I talked to somebody who was here Wednesday, and he said he went home. He was just seeing too many 6s. He was bored out of his mind. It wasn't a contest between bat and ball.
Yeah, and that's the balance that they've always been searching for. And it's not just cricket. I mean, the same was in baseball. They actually have an era in baseball called dead ball era. And the dead ball era, there were no home runs. If you hit a home run, that was front page news.
Yeah.
But you were getting your runs by running the bases, etc.
Yeah.
And cricket has had times like that as well, whether it because of the pitches. I mean, it's only in recent years that pitches have come on so much, and wickets.
That has to be hit. No, I didn't hold it.
Oh, but fabulous stop all the same.
Great stop, yeah. He's disappointed though that he didn't catch it.
3 runs saved.
Yeah, he's disappointed.
8 off the over so far. He gave it a good go.
Yeah.
Carroll still bowling from the nursery end. As I say, this new innovation from Niall Walsh and his technical knowledge. Camera each end.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
He'll be outskying Sky soon. It's amazing that the production values he has as another wicket falls. And that one, well, it was the simplest of catches, and Sidhu on his way. He didn't really score that many, but he was part of a good partnership. They put on 16 in very quick time, but now 103 for 7. Will they bat the 20 overs, Jim?
Well, that's the next question. You know, I mean,
That's the biggest sin,
Is
isn't
it?
it?
Yes, yeah. I mean, you can't score runs from the other side. So
Here is the replay. It's just no power. The bat seemed to turn as it hit the ball.
Get through it.
And instead of finding the boundary, he found the fielder.
Yeah.
And Sidhu is on his way. And it's 104 for 7 now. Well, the coaches of both of these teams, ex-YMCA players, Alan Lewis coaching Phoenix and Johnny Garth coaching
Is he coaching the first team? He is.
He is
Alan,
indeed.
Yeah. I knew he was over there coaching. I didn't know he was.
He was down in the nets earlier on.
Oh, very good, yeah. Well, I've seen JD Garth a good bit because we played Leinster early on in the Irish Senior Cup as well, or in
Right.
the Leinster Senior Cup. They really have. George has to stay here, hasn't he?
He needs to. Malone comes to join him. Malone's job now is just to see out 4 overs and to let George have as much of the strike as possible.
Yeah.
If they could get to the stage with these 24 balls that Malone only faces 4, that would be ideal. He's gone long, he's gone straight, and he's gone for 6 again. It's a one-man show.
That's it.
A century and 51. He scored 101 not out in the first game. He's now on 57 not out in this game.
And it's hard to know where to bowl to him now.
I mean, he might not end up being player of the match here, but I don't think anybody can say he's not player of the day. Oh, this one has gone up a long way.
Going to hit one of us.
It's going to land on the net.
It's on the nets.
It does land on the nets.
Yeah, that's an interesting retrieval job now. We'd need Bill Dwyer.
And this is the shot that takes Dockrell on to 63. That is the clean hitting we expect and have seen from George. 57 now from just 34 deliveries. And again, 6 is outnumbering 4s. Oi!
No, he's going to get hit with the stump.
One of the Leinster players looking to retrieve the ball off the top of the nets, threw a stump at it, and it went straight through the net.
Well done.
And he's finally got it down.
Well done.
But the stump that he threw went through the net, is now lying on top of the nets.
Yes.
Super shot from George Dockrell. He's moved on to 57. Ben Mitchell's third over has started with a 6. 104 for 7 it was after 16. They've moved on to 110 for 7. And again, 120 is not going to work. We would have been wrong there.
We'd have been out again, yeah.
Unless Dockrell
gets
out now, one feels. We said Phoenix would want him to face 20 of the final 24 balls. He's faced 1 and scored 6. If he does that again. This one is hit down the ground, and Dockrell...
No, it doesn't. Refuses a single.
Well, he is batting with the number 9 now.
Yeah, so obviously his faith in the number 9 must be a bit suspect.
Or he's completely knackered and he didn't want to run.
He's not able to run a single, which is the other option. We have a few.
Oh, this one very high. That's not going to leave the playing field. It's going to come down.
He's out.
And he's
Dropped.
not. Another one put down.
Dropped.
And maybe Leinster have caught or not caught the virus of Malahide, who had 4, 5, 6, 7 catches put down in the first semi-final. This one went up a long, long way. It went up so high that they actually ran 2.
They ran 2, yeah. See him up and back, yes.
That's how long that ball was up there. And it's come down, and it was never near the hands of Azar.
No.
And now Mitchell with 2 balls to go in this over. And that one is clipped away beautifully.
Isn't that beautiful?
And that's the thing about George. He does have this power hitting mode that he enters, but he's still got that nice touch around the corner.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And that is a super shot.
That's a beautiful shot.
He's now on to 65, and with 3 overs and 1 ball to go, do you know, you wouldn't bet against him getting to the ton.
We won't get involved with the commentator's curse. No, I'm saying nothing. I let that one straight through to the wicketkeeper. Didn't touch it.
So current run rate 7 1/4. George doing his best to increase that. They've already taken
That's lovely.
18 off this over and
22.
make that 22, and it's a big over for Dockrell, a big over for Phoenix, and they finish up
2-6.
1-2-6, but this is a cracking shot.
Yeah, beautiful shot.
Down on one knee, played it with a lot of power, but once he got through the ring, well, that was enough.
And the drop. Good lads will always punish you, won't they?
Well, that's it, isn't it? As a bowler, you see how somebody drop, and you know, fielders don't do it on purpose, and he went for it and everything else. You can't. The only one I can't stand is somebody says, "No, I'm not going for that."
I'll head
So
off.
long as somebody goes for
Right,
it,
and then tries, and
have no
you know
problem.
they didn't drop it on purpose.
Yeah.
Unless
but
you're.
that's something that only comes with experience, Jim. When you're a 20-something-year-old tearaway fast bowler and somebody puts down a catch, then it can be toys out of the
Oh,
pram.
the whole bit, yeah. But it's you know, unless of course you're trying to keep another fella in, and
Yes.
you drop him on purpose, which is a different form of cricket altogether.
Well,
You know, but that's a different day's work. But no, they don't drop him on purpose. But that's a big drop because you've dropped a good lad,
Yes.
the man in form.
he's on 73. It's only taken him 39 deliveries to get there. He is hitting at a decent strike rate, that is for sure.
200.
Just under 200 at the moment. Malone
Oh, Malone's
sets
going
off
to
for
run
one.
Dockrell out.
Oh, and a direct hit, and now they take the single on the overthrow. Well, Malone teasing the fielder, and he got him into that one handily enough.
Joey Carroll not happy.
Well, it's more runs against his bowling. He'd
Well, it's
done
more
all
that-
the hard work.
Yeah, it's more that he's now bowling to Dockrell.
.227, as we say. George Dockrell, strike rate 187 at the moment.
187, yeah, I thought that, yep.
And one feels it may go up after this delivery. The ultimate commentator's curse now. Dockrell facing Carroll coming in from the nursery end. 73 to his name. And I think he did himself there.
He did a slower ball and wondering what to do with it.
He'd taken the step back to give himself room and then suddenly was stretching as well. He'd have been better off staying where he was. Joey Carroll's figures as he goes into his final over. Well, 3 for 17 off 20 deliveries.
Wide.
And again, George, so nonchalant, he realised so quickly that was down the wrong line and it was going to be a wide. Just nothing to do with me.
Let off.
Didn't go chasing it.
No, the head off, yeah. Knows very much where his stumps are and everything. Just in prime form.
And again, that nice touch.
Just a flick, yeah.
Not everything has to be a big swing of the bat. Malone, quite rightly, telling George that there's only a single there. Joey Carroll's impressive bowling spell continues. 3 balls remaining. But it was that 14th, 15th and 16th overs, 4 wickets falling in those 3 overs that have really pegged Phoenix back.
They jam put the clamps on them a bit, with George still there.
Nice
It's a good
shot.
shot.
And nicely fielded at the boundary.
Well feeling a single.
But a single, he's happy with that. It means he will have his partner, George Dockrell, on strike for the last 2 balls of the over. Phoenix will be looking for a score in excess of 150 here, I suspect.
Yeah, 150 has you in the game.
I think so.
Has you in the game, you know.
They've a decent bowling attack. Tyrone Kane, Ben White. There's bowling there. The wicket-taking bowling as well. George himself.
Yeah, although I talked to a man from North County who would say their batting is appreciably stronger. that any score
you can have a go at.
Yes, yeah, that was coming back from Anglesey Road today. That was very much the received wisdom. That they have some bowling all right, but they haven't penetrated
finding the fifth, fifth, sixth bowler that you
somebody
might need.
Get taken apart. I mean,
Sidhu is there as well.
Yeah, I think Kane was hit for about 70 in Anglesey Road.
And again, it's that the pace sometimes is more of a help to the batsman than it is to the bowler.
Yes, just helping it on. Yep. 6 more.
Well. Malone may not have wanted to take a single to George earlier on, but my goodness, he's caught that one and caught it beautifully. Lovely, he now moves on to 8 off 3.
Lovely clean hit.
And when you wonder, well, that's your number 9 batsman can hit a ball like that. Wow.
That's a team batting the whole way down, isn't it?
It is indeed. And that is a cracking 6 from a number 9 in the final of a T20 competition. This one, the senior T20 final for the Alan Murray Cup, sponsored by LHK Group. And many thanks indeed to Cricket Leinster for providing this broadcast. And for inviting us to
participate. It's a great opportunity. Oh, it's great, you know, that within the cricket community as well, where there's so many people playing cricket today. It'll be very nice for people to come in this evening.
Yep.
You know,
you'll find that there'll be a few people here at the ground who are watching it for replays. A few people around will have interest and just pop in to see the score. But as you say, after the game, the players, the officials,
the analysis,
scores,
the whole thing.
Everybody goes to have a look. And it's a great facility.
Yeah, because I heard, there was a little bit of a to-do with the Malahide game, and a fella shouted in, I have it here on my phone.
Yeah.
Whatever the row, I don't know what it was over because I was down the far side. But
this was the one where the ball, it was on I have it written down somewhere, it was late in the innings.
Yes.
And the bail was off.
Right.
And nobody could work out
what had happened.
And so they picked up the bail, put it back on and played on.
Played away, yeah. But I saw a fella shouting in, I have it on my phone. So whatever, so I'm Malahide man.
So, we've often had, I've seen somebody carry a phone out to an umpire. Not an official umpire, but to an umpire saying, look how wrong you got that one.
Oh, yeah, well, I saw a photographer, a friend of mine, getting into a bit of trouble. A fella gave a nod out on a stumping one day.
All right.
He put the thing up on the website to show the bat about 2 yards short, and then was spoken to very severely by the Umpires Association for undermining.
Yep. I mean, I am firmly of the view that no matter what my thought is or what I see on a picture, the umpire's decision is the one that counts.
They're doing their best.
Look,
they don't make mistakes on purpose. No. And they don't make as many mistakes as the players. So let them at it.
And as you say, the players make far more mistakes. When you think of that first game, the semi-final, the amount of drop catches and amount of run-outs by the other team, the umpires, it's like football referees or rugby referees. If you don't notice them, they're doing a great job.
They're doing a great job, yeah.
And we haven't spoken about the umpires at all today. No. This one coming right to us.
This is for us. I'm going to catch it. After hitting the car.
That's pretty much the same shot Kevin O'Brien hit when he put it through his own windscreen.
That's after hitting the car right out over our commentary position.
It certainly, that is straight over our heads.
Straight over, beautiful, yeah.
Niall almost fell over backwards trying to track with that one.
Oh, that was beautiful. It didn't hit one though. Yeah.
George Dockrell, on the back of that magnificent 6, has moved on to 83. He's still not quite at strike rate of 200, but 83 out of a total of 147. He is doing a great job for Phoenix.
He's some valuable player, isn't he?
For whichever side he plays for.
He's a magnificent cricketer.
I mean,
many years ago when he was in Trinity, Leinster hadn't won a game.
Yep.
And when he left Trinity, they won the next 7 and won the league. came back, and and unfortunately at the time we played him twice. He beat us with Trinity, and then he beat us again with Leinster. So he's a magnificent cricketer. No,
and he did absolutely magnificent work, because we remember him as a young lad signed by Somerset, left arm spinner, and then he came back and completely reinvented himself as this power hitting batsman.
Now he was at under 15. He was a lovely bat. He opened the bat for Leinster, and but they actually had so many good cricketers at the time. He was on the Leinster team, didn't make the Irish team because he was batting about 7, and Leinster used to win every inter-pro by about 6 wickets, and he wouldn't get into bat.
And there's a lovely shot. He has scattered people there, and by the way they're looking at it, he may have broken a dressing room window.
Another window gone.
But a classic shot. He's gone on to 89 on the basis of this. Moondra back for his final over. It goes all the way over, and you can see people scattering at the bench, and it lands just in the windows.
I think there's a window gone.
I think he's broken the window
of the dressing room,
the home dressing room.
The home dressing room, yeah.
Goes for almost the same shot, not the same ball, and therefore it's a different result. And there's 1 ball left in this, the 19th over, and then there'll be 6 balls left, and he's still 11 short of a second century. What a day that would be.
Yeah.
2 centuries in 2
T20s. In 2 T20 competition.
After you've just won the interprovincial.
Yes.
As well, where he batted really well. 89 from 46, 8 sixes. Hit down the ground, and he'll just take the single, and that will enable him to line up Paul Murphy's house for the final over.
90 runs.
He'll be looking for that short boundary straight down the ground, I think. Malone on 8 from just 3. Obviously, as the strike changes, so does the graphic.
Yeah, but he's contributed very well, Malone. He's got up
just
the other end,
there.
Stayed there. Yeah, do nothing rash.
And then when the ball was in his slot,
hit it.
He smacked it for 6.
Yeah, hit it.
So 154. There goes the 120 again, Jim.
I'm back up to me 160.
Yeah.
And you're back in the game, and that would be the consensus in 160.
Again, 160 was enough in the first game.
Very much.
Will it be enough in the final?
Will it be enough? Here's some of my friends from the hills. Left hand.
The ones carrying the empty pint glasses, or the young people?
Both.
You're down with the kids, Jim.
Oh yes. No, here we are. Here we are. Skipper, hill skipper.
Afternoon.
Oliver Harlock in the jeans, got 70 odd. Tomas Rooney Murphy.
It's great that they've come down.
Fair play to them.
Yeah.
But they're cricket people.
Well, that's it.
They look at cricket. They'll stay around. They're cricket people.
Another big shot down the ground.
How are we fixed?
That's 96 now, and still 5 balls to come. Yep. Can he beat the 101 he got in the first game? He has carried this Phoenix total. He has 96. They have 160. And without his innings, where would Phoenix be?
Oh, yes.
This brings forth the baseball swing, and it's a dot ball. 96 off just 49.
That's incredible hitting. You wonder how all your runs gone in the first innings when you first match, and you get nearly another 100.
I mean, he will sleep well tonight.
He will.
Plenty of fresh air, plenty of sunshine.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There you are.
Some refreshment
That's
or
gone between
two.
The two lads.
It's fielded.
No, just 298.
But he will get another 2. Takes him on to 98, as Jim says. And suddenly the odds are in favour of him reaching those 3 figures. I think it's not so much he has something to say to Mr. Malone. I think he's just sucking in some more oxygen while he can.
Oh, yeah, that's a lovely day, isn't it? Yeah. Things are great.
3 balls left in the innings. There can't be any great wisdom being passed. Bilal Azhar.
That's it. That is fantastic.
And that's
magnificent.
A fabulous shot. He goes to 104.
That's
he has
magnificent.
scored 205 runs on a Saturday afternoon in 2 T20s, and that is absolutely fabulous.
That's magnificent.
104 of 52, and there is that 200
that
strike
we're looking
rate.
for. Yes, that's that we were looking for a few balls ago. Yeah, that is beautiful.
10 sixes, 5 fours. What's that? 60, 70, 80 of those runs have come in boundaries.
Yeah.
And yet, you wouldn't notice.
No,
I mean, he's hit some big balls or whatever, but he's just been there, and it hasn't been taking on one bowler, or he's done this to every bowler he's faced.
Oh, yeah.
And
6 more.
oh, one-handed attempt on the
effort.
boundary, not
effort.
enough, and another 6. And George goes on to 110 after this shot. And I'd love to see the wagon wheel. We know about the straight hitting. He's so clean on that straight hitting, but he has put stuff
Hit both sides
square of the
ground.
wicket.
Oh no,
He hasn't been a one-trick pony
no,
by
no, no,
any
no.
stretch of the
No,
imagination.
no, and there's very few streaky ones either.
Yep, he did give that one chance that Bilal
my man
Azhar
dropped.
couldn't get to. But, look, people rarely get to a century without some sort of luck on
And
their
it's the
side.
good lads Punisher.
And that will be another boundary.
Yeah.
And George Dockrell would only be wishing that there was another 5 overs to go.
That's magnificent.
That is truly magnificent. He moves on to 114, not out. And the final score, and again these final overs, 28 coming from that over, 10, 22 to 3, 24, 178 for 7. And I would just like to say, well done, Mr. Malone,
Yes.
because you need somebody down the
The
other
hospital at
end.
the other end, not doing anything silly. He stayed around, and he was very, very
I'd love
good.
to see what the partnership is. Jim, talk us through the batting card there. Change of eyesight.
Different glasses, can't see it with either of them.
Well, here, I'll do it for you.
Start again now. Now Shane get but not a great start. Then we moved down, and then we moved down to George.
Well,
And
114.
114. I mean, absolutely magnificent. Now there were contributions, but really, it's the George Dockrell show.
Well, there's only one score of 20 or above.
20 above, that's what I mean. Yeah, there's a 20 and there's a 25. 20, that's all.
There's a 20, there's a 15, and they're the only people who reach
That's it.
double
It's the
figures.
George Dockrell show.
Leinster did a fine, disciplined job with their bowling. There were only 6 extras,
Yes,
and it was the assault at the end. They have scored 52 runs in the last 3 overs, and you can see that on the bowling. Joey Carroll 3 for 28, but his last over went for a bit of tap. We were saying about Malone there. The two of them have put on 74 runs, and Malone scored, what was it, 8?
1 and 1 and a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He scored 8 out of 74, and George went absolutely mad at the other end.
And yet, if you look at the bowling figures.
Mark Tong's doing a super job.
Yeah, but
1 for
they're
13.
They're not, I mean, Bilal went for 39, but they're not. There's not an awful lot of tap.
No.
They're not hammered around the place, you know.
No, they've done very well
Relatively speaking.
on the bowling side, and now will now bring up, I suspect, the over by over. And you look at that at the end.
Yeah, 17 and 20 in particular.
They're going for more than 20 runs, and those skyscrapers at the end really made the worm turn up.
Yes.
And that will be tough to keep up with that. I
will.
suspect Leinster at the start will be ahead of that line, but it's from the 14th over onwards.
Yeah, it's acceleration you're talking about, and what acceleration you can produce.
Yep, absolutely. There is the match summary. Leinster need 179 from 20 overs, and the rate required is 8.95, and it's pretty similar to the first games we saw, certainly the game we saw here. And it'll be interesting to see how that second innings go when Leinster
Or how
go
they go
chasing
at
it down,
it.
and
How they approach
that.
it.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, they're not batted out of it, but it's a challenging score.
It is indeed. So we'll be back in, it'll be about 10 minutes, and it'll be you and me again, Jim.
Very good, yeah, look forward to it.
We'll join you again in a few minutes. Thanks very much.
Welcome back to Pembroke Cricket Club for the second half of the Alan Murray T20 final. It's myself, Andrew Pointer, and I'm joined by Jim Bennett. How are you, Jim?
I'm grand, thank Andrew. Are you keeping well?
Good. How are you enjoying your commentary stints?
Fantastic. Yeah, well, I've seen some great cricket. George Dock will get another 100. Fantastic.
He's some striker of a cricket ball, isn't
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And controlled.
he? Yeah. There's a lovely bat swing, nice and keeps everything nice and compact.
The other way the fellas might get 100 say he's only a gasher. But it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You're right. Before we get too far in, where's your money?
I think they have enough. Although I've been advised by a friend of mine from North County who would say that Phoenix bowling is not as good as the batting.
Okay.
He would feel, he said to me, no matter what they get, you should get more than them.
Because their batting's so strong.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Now that would be his argument, but this man has been known to be wrong. Unlike the Pope who's infallible, this lad is not in that category. But he wouldn't admit ever to being wrong. It's one of those. I meet a lot of them in my travels. I will put them. I put runs on the board.
Yeah, me too.
Even though I said Leinster have bat a long way down, Andrew.
Yeah.
Very well balanced side.
Yeah, they were 3 down very early in the first game and still
Yeah,
got
we'd run
themselves
out
up to a pretty good...
and came back to a very good score. I mean, we talked here in commentary and we're talking 120, and the next thing they're 160.
I think if Eunice, who's not on strike, if he gets himself in, he can hit the ball a very long way. So he's a big wicket early on. And are you a big fan of T20 cricket, or are you more of a traditionalist?
Yeah, more traditionalist. I enjoy it, but it's a bit like the difference between pitcher putt and golf. With all due respect.
I've never heard it described like that.
But
I
you
get
know what I
you're
mean?
saying,
It brings people in to love the game because people tell you the game is too long. But I love the drama and the build-up and, and so on. And you can have a game of 50 overs, or as we've seen in the test matches.
Yeah,
exciting on the last day, the last hour.
There's been some fantastic test cricket this summer,
Yeah,
hasn't
yeah.
there?
So that's right. No, I enjoy watching. But I mean, now that sixes have become commonplace, they used to be a novelty.
Yeah, you wouldn't have seen too many.
No, 20 years ago. There was, but now with the bats and the men more powerful, but the novelty is gone. I mean, I think you need to get bowlers on the legislation. It's all batters are in charge of everything. Fielding restrictions, you name it.
It's a bit of a batter's game, you reckon?
It is a batter's game. Yeah, I mean, Simon Carter was good during the week. If you put a bowling machine, Simon said to me one time, he says, I agree with tampering with the ball even, because it evens things up a bit.
Well, there's, all the 2 balls at each end in 50 over cricket, trying to keep the ball hard so batters can still hit it.
Well,
we're in for a
shout.
shout.
We're on duty.
Well fielded, Niall.
Well fielded, Niall.
One hand, one bounce there from Niall.
Look good. But it's become a different game. I mean, it should be a fair contest between bat and ball. And I think even fielding restriction, in the interest of making it interesting for the people who don't like cricket, we're ruining the game for those who do.
Lovely shot there from Eunice there over
Beautiful.
mid-on. 6 off the first over. Who have we got bowling here? Is that Tyrone Kane I can see in the distance?
With the beard it is, yeah.
Yeah, looks like him. Handy operator Tyrone.
Good cricketer.
Been around a long time,
Good
despite
cricketer.
probably not being that old.
Good cricketer. May not have been treated that well at different stages with selection, but a very, very good cricketer.
Yeah, I completely agree. Should have definitely played for Ireland a little more than he did. Just offered you a bit of everything. Could bowl.
Ball, bat, good fielder, very,
Yeah.
very competitive.
Yeah.
You know, and doesn't give up. You know, great lad around the place. No, it's but you'll always find that. I mean, at the minute you might have, one of the best cricketers I've seen this year, Stephen Doheney.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was amazed to see Stephen not getting his contract downgraded.
Yeah, I'm a bit bemused by that, having watched him get 150 a few weeks ago in the Mardyke. He some very clean striking of a cricket ball.
Beautiful four.
Super effort there from
Great effort.
Ben White. Yeah.
Great effort, and now he's in a heap. Great effort.
Just a little bit back of a length and pulled away. Don't think he got all of it, but got enough of it to keep Ben White in the hunt.
And the outfield is like Grease Lightning.
Oh yeah, it's got faster as the day's gone on, hasn't it?
Fantastic.
It's a great day in the calendar, I always think.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, the great day used to be the Senior Cup final. But with the game taking so long nowadays and lads visualising in the morning and everything, they no longer, the cricket community used to all meet on the day of a cup final.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen anymore because with a combination of drink driving laws and a whole lot of other things, you know. But this is a great day, and we've had a great week. 3 interpros days, fantastic week cricket.
I just really like it because it brings 4 clubs to the one venue, and it's not just in the Senior Cup final. You obviously have two clubs. I wouldn't come and watch the Senior Cup final if
that's what I mean, lads.
wasn't involved, you know?
Whereas, in another era, it was the meeting because for a start it was a closed day.
Yeah.
So you had no cricket on anyway.
True.
So it was a closed day, and you used it as an opportunity to meet up and so on. You know, it was the. And of course, it was at one stage it was timed as well. So I might go into the Monday or the Tuesday or the Wednesday.
Yeah, I've played in a couple when it was 60 overs. So we went into. I definitely played in one which was a Saturday, Sunday.
And there was one that went in a Monday.
And a Monday night.
Yes.
We finished 20 overs on a Monday evening over in YMCA. Yeah, which was a completely bizarre and new thing to me because we had Sunday completely off. Because there was already a game
fixed.
scheduled.
There were games fixed,
and then we came back because it was only 20 overs left. We came back at 6 o'clock on the Monday night.
But it was great. I mean, with between 11 and 1 because you're getting a lunch at 1, and could you get 30 something overs bowled in the first 2 hours? You know, and lads didn't want to get out. So it was I loved the 60 overs, but I mean there were a whole lot of other things. We say lunches, different times. It's much more difficult now. But it was a great event. Now the T20 here is equally fantastic event with people around. We have a lot of people here in Pembroke today, and we have people listening and looking at the live stream as well. It could be out.
Unlucky. It's just over his head.
Just over his head.
That's going to run away for 4, is it? Yes.
It is gone on to 4. Hard luck.
Wasn't the intended spot that Mitchell was looking for, but effective. Just got it over cover's head, and it ran away for 4. Again, that quick outfield, making it too difficult for the fielder to haul it back in. 12 off that over. I think they'll go a big way if they can go and get another 20 off this power play here this next couple of overs.
If they're 40, 50 without losing the wicket in the power play, they're into them. So far today we have seen very few, and there haven't been big scores got into power plays.
Yeah.
I mean, no, the Malahide one, the runs were got in the 6th and the 7th over, which changed the whole complexion of the game. There was 30 runs conceded.
Yeah, it's been interesting, hasn't it? It's normally where a big bulk of the runs are scored in
the first 6
initial power play.
Yeah, and we're used to looking at the Lightning and that where big runs are scored in the power play.
Yeah, well, some of the scores in the festivals have been up above 60 and 70.
Oh yeah,
it's been amazing the way the lads have gone about it in the power play for the Leinster Lightning team. That was quite a quick bouncer there from Malone.
No, I haven't seen Phoenix play this year yet. We haven't played him yet, so I haven't seen this young man before. Well, is he in? Just short of him.
Someone was going to catch it. It
Yeah.
was going to be Ben White.
Ben
He is
White, yeah.
very, very fast.
Yeah, good effort. Nearly got around.
Using this short ball to good effect. Just doesn't quite, just evades Ben White by about a metre or so. Seems a definite plan to. He's not pitching many up in this this field with two men sweepers on either side. Looks like he wants to bowl into the wicket and get hit square of the wicket.
Back at length, just singles.
Not giving him any length to hit him back over his head where it's a little bit shorter.
Yeah, now he bowled into a nice plan because we saw in the first game the North County man that he played with Malahide didn't bowl to a plan where he was bowling short and there was 17 conceded, but he bowled wides and bowled and then got warned. Even though you reckon there was a plan there to bowl short. No, that's.
I feel that didn't look like they're moving overly freely, but he did his job. Slight change of plan here. The offside sweeper's come up and long on's gone back, so might look to bowl a little bit fuller now that he's probably used his couple of bounces for the over.
Yeah, that's it. His ration is up, so now pitch it up. Yep.
Batsman looked like he was hobbling there.
He's not. I was going to say that he's not running that freely. He looks to be struggling a bit.
Yeah. Have to keep an eye on that. If that was maybe just after a long day. It's been hot today. To be fair, he might just be a little bit tired, or has he done something to himself?
Yeah. No, he wouldn't have been batting a long time in the first innings.
No, Eunice didn't get many, did he?
No, he did not.
Again, he's changed his field. He's got two man back at deep mid wicket and a deep square leg. $21 for 0. So only 3 off that over. So
Here's decent over, yep.
Pretty good over. Not sure many people can say they've got 200s in the one day, like George has.
No.
Around the world. That's a
So
serious
even going
achievement.
back over the years, it was rare to see 100 in T20 at all.
Mm.
I mean, you have to be opening the batting usually for a start because you need to bat the 20 overs.
Yeah, you need the most time, definitely.
Yeah, and it was rare enough to see 100 being scored, and then a lad gets 2 in a day.
He's in some form. He got double 100 in the last league round in Rush. Yeah, so his Leinster average is going through the roof at the moment.
I think the dad was saying, I think he hit 72 off the last 3 overs, including losing so many cricket balls that Rush had none left.
Oh, jeez.
So he was asked would he mind hitting it along the ground because they had no balls left. They were going over the wall. They were going all parts of North County Dublin. Wide.
Slow ball just down the
Slow
leg
ball,
side.
yeah.
Didn't touch anything though, so it's a wide. Tyrone Kane again bowling another over. And Jim, you're a good man for travelling around the grounds. Where have you been this summer?
I was in Oak Hill.
Oh yeah.
I was in Oak Hill. Lovely few days.
That's
a lovely shot. That's a beautiful shot. I was in Oak Hill, and actually Brian Sterling came down and stayed parked at our house.
Oh, brilliant.
And then we drove the rest. It was lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely. We were going to Cork, and then I got a bit of an old cold or that. I booked the accommodation, I booked the train. My friend Mick Dwyer loves the train. We refer to in the hills as the last of the summer wine. so we wave at everybody at the different stations going through. But then we, unfortunately, I had accommodation all booked, but didn't go. And I love Cork. I love the Martinique.
You missed a good week down there.
It was fantastic.
The weather was just like this and lots of runs. Yeah.
And I was just watching Stephen Doherty with, say, premeditated shots. The wickets are now so good. He's in place.
Well in advance and knows where he's going. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it was incredible that the wickets have now become so good that you can trust. But no, Cork, that was it. Now, I'll go at the 50 over ones I enjoy more.
Okay.
So
there's more of those in August.
Yeah, now Breedy is a long spin, and I've tried, which is not that sprite. I tried to come back up and down in the one day.
It's a long day.
It's a long day, yeah. You're about Monaghan when you think you should be home. But Stormont is no bother.
Yeah.
And especially I meet the lads at the Balrotherry Inn, so you've taken 20 miles off already.
Yeah.
It's only 80 miles. And
often wish I lived around Balbriggan or Balrotherry when I'm coming back home from the north.
Yes, that last 20 miles. And when I was involved with the youth set-up, they all wanted games in Fingal. It takes the 20 miles out to town.
Yeah.
So Ring Commons, North County, Balbriggan, Rush, the hills. That was, that 20 miles, and you're not getting involved with the tunnel and so on, so.
Eunice is on the move here. 6 off previous ball and a nice sweep shot there for 4 round towards fine leg.
Yeah, and he didn't get many this morning, and there would have been a bit of an edge there because he had played with Malahide for 2 seasons.
Of course, yeah. He always seemed to get runs against Clontarf.
Yes, he's a good cricketer.
Always, yeah. He's someone I've enjoyed watching bat.
I'm for more, and he's never going to die wonder neither, is he?
No, he doesn't take long.
No. It's either big runs or none.
Yeah, I would say he averages about 65 to 85 against Clontarf. Always seemed to get runs against us. And he even did it this season when he's moved to Leinster in the league. He got 70 odd against us.
Yeah.
But this is a heavy over here. He's gone 6-4-4.
Yeah.
It's funny watching the people walk past and ducking under the camera.
Well, Tisha, you don't know whether you should or whether you shouldn't. I even did it myself because I'm never sure what's on or what's not on, so you don't want to get caught.
When I do it when I know it's not on, but you know it's wrong.
Well bowled. Took the pace right off that one.
Clever now.
I think Eunice is struggling here. He's not
moving
that well, is he?
He doesn't look like a lad that's comfortable, and of course nowadays with the change in laws, you can't have a runner.
So I think he's only looking one way, and
it's 4s or 6s. Yep. That's all he's dealing in now. He's struggling big time. Now it's not too bad if he's hitting 4s and 6s. He's not wasting balls.
Well, he's 22 off 11 at the moment.
Yeah, no,
so he's going nicely.
Got decent strike rate. Oh, he's struggling.
I'd be thinking as a fielder, this is a very dangerous time because if someone's injured and they can't run, they're only going to try and hit boundaries.
4s or 6s.
Yeah, and he is someone that can quite easily, as we saw at the beginning of this over, clear the ropes. So a wounded batsman can be quite a dangerous thing.
I do say that about Gordon Greenwich. He was at his most dangerous, the West Indian opener. He was at his most dangerous when he had a bit of a hamstring tear or something. That now he was lethal. He needed to have just to be a little bit off to keep him in bad form health-wise, but that he was able to get lots of runs. That poor man is struggling big time. It's hardly a walk.
Yeah, I'd definitely be throwing it at his end as well if I was a fielder, make him run every run as much as possible.
Yeah.
Score moves on to 38.
Yeah, it's not bad. 9.5.
And I think we've got Ben White coming into the attack, who, from the reports at the game at Merion, was absolutely outstanding out there. And
I heard.
Game that was very high scoring, and he went at 5 and over.
Yeah, I mean, George got a bit of tap, I believe, and so did Tyrone. But But White is a clever cricketer.
Yeah, he is good. And he's played a lot of T20 cricket at either Interpro and at Irish level now.
Yeah,
as
knows
well.
what he's trying to do as well. I mean, with field placing and everything, you know. So, and it's a kind of an interesting contest between himself and Gavin Hoy.
Yeah, I think
They're competing for the one spot.
they are. Yeah, having seen Gavin up close and this last month of being with Leinster Lightning, I think they're very similar bowlers. I think Ben probably is he's in possession at the moment anyway, but I think Gavin adds a little bit more with the bat, but they're both very good fielders as well, so it's a tight...
There's nothing in it.
There's absolutely nothing.
There's nothing in it. They're two fine cricketers, you know, and we're blessed to have two lads. It's good, and it's interesting enough to say that the likes of Andrew McBrien is dispensed with as a T20 cricketer.
Yeah, I think it's amazing.
I did that.
Like, he's such a clever cricketer and a street fighter.
And gritty.
Yeah.
Bring him in at 7 or 8. I mean, do you say about Donovan if they're 25 for 5? Or James and Junior out yet? No, they'll win that. The two lads coming in at 5 and 6. Oh, run out.
Nice start from Mitchell. First ball down the ground for 4, but I wouldn't be taking on George Dockler at extra cover
No, that
too
wouldn't
often.
be bright, no.
Especially if
His friend can't run.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lovely, gentle tap, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a brave call of 2, knowing that Eunice can't probably run 1, let alone 2, the way he's hobbling there. But they've had a great start. 43 for none after 4.5 overs.
Get their 60 now at the power play, and they're well there.
This will be interesting now, the fact that he's obviously struggling and he's got the field out now, and
My man at the wall is in play. Yep. There we are.
George's going to make him run as well. George, a Dockrell outfield in there at deep mid wicket. He's got a pretty strong throwing arm, so he'll make him run every metre of the crease.
Well bowled.
Come back nicely here, Ben, after his first ball went for 4.
Well bowled. Quicker one.
Not giving him any space to swing as well, is he?
Quicker one, yeah. Decent over in the end.
6 off after the first ball went for 4. Be happy with that. There's the Worms, and Leinster seemed to be way on top, but Phoenix had a pretty good second. Well, through that middle period they were really solid, and then that last bit where George...
Yeah, because there's a big acceleration,
yeah.
17 to 20.
Yeah, where he hit lots of boundaries in that last little bit of the innings, and had a real acceleration there. Got a new bowler. Sidhu comes into the attack. Left arm spinner. Phoenix actually have quite a lot of spin, and good spin at that as well. We haven't seen... Leinster didn't use their spin till well into the second half.
Until near the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This might suit a wounded Eunice here, that he can potentially just stand there and
pull.
And try and slap a few over
Across
his head.
across to the tents.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, decent bowler. He won the Leinster ball a few years ago. He running with Merion anyway.
I think so,
Yeah, he's very good. Clever cricketer.
6 and you come back at 14 and we'll finish.
Just been given our orders from the boss there.
What did he say? I wasn't listening.
I've been given my marching orders. I've only got one over left.
Is that all?
Yeah,
In the end,
and then I'm coming back in for the death, hopefully.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Because I'd be given LBWs and everything at that stage. Get excited.
Interesting, he's left arm round the wicket to left-hander. Has he got enough?
So,
He has got enough of it.
just over George's head. No, it wasn't George. Over White's head.
Over Ben White's head
Ben
there.
White's head,
Deep-
yeah. Great effort.
Deep square leg. Just a little bit short, and Ben Mitchell gets enough of it over deep square leg's head into the famous Pembroke wall. It's actually a bit empty. I think it's too hot on the wall.
Too
from what
hot,
I
yeah. They've
heard.
been roasted, and John and Anna were telling me it's very cold down the back. So you can't win.
Well, they could go over to the railway. It'd probably be about 10 degrees cooler.
Yeah. There'll be all sorts of atmospherics there. I mean, he was telling me about the tide being in and the tide being out. I never knew which way, but it had an impact on the game anyway, wherever the tide was.
The only impact I know is you have to bring an extra jumper if you
That's
go over
it,
to
if
the
you're
railway.
cold, yeah.
Yeah. It's been a fantastic start here for Leinster. They don't want to let this title go. They're reigning champions.
No,
aren't
and
they?
the battle a long way down as well. I saw them here last year beat Pembroke, and they were fantastic. And that's another 6.
Onto the roof of the clubhouse there. Slog sweep over deep mid wicket. I think we're going to need a new ball. This is just... Well, this, if he wanted to hit a slog sweep, he couldn't have placed it any better for him. Lovely swing of the bat.
Lovely. Straight through the ball. Straight through. Lovely.
And onto the roof there of the Pembroke Pavilion. So, might be a little break in play here while we replace the ball.
No sign of anybody coming out, but
If whoever's coming out with the spare balls is like anyone else, they're trying to find the softest one possible.
there's no sign. No.
Interesting, the batters are kind of going over to check the ball here to see if... I'm not sure that's
Ethical.
really their business. I know
Yeah.
they're about to hit it, but you got to back that the umpires have made a good decision.
Is number 1 coming off the field? No, just changing his gloves. And you notice this tendency of coaches to come out with all sorts of spiritual instructions. The lads coming out for all kinds of things.
Yeah, well, there's one in the Malahide game. The 12th man ran on something,
Yeah.
and they didn't change gloves.
Nothing,
He didn't have
no,
a drink in
no,
his
no, no,
hand.
no.
It was quite obvious there was some
Yeah,
sort of
there's some
message
sort of
coming.
message, yeah, it's a new phenomenon that you don't trust lads. But remember the Leinster rugby team as well. They felt that they needed instructions with regard to what to do. Remember, did they kick points in the big game?
Yeah.
That they were looking at the stand, or that it's a condition now. Everything is planned, nothing off the cuff.
Yeah, let guys leave them to it and go with their gut. They're the ones that are hitting or bowling the ball.
Yeah, let them at it. 4 runs.
It's been a fantastic over for Leinster.
This is it.
19 from it.
This might be bearing out my Fingal friends' thoughts
Yeah.
in terms of the strength of the bowling.
Well, 63 for none after 6 overs. That's a fantastic start.
10.5.
Definitely the best start we've seen of the games here in the Sydney Parade.
Big time, yep.
I'm going to love you and leave you, Jim.
Right, Andrew, listen, mind yourself.
Absolute pleasure,
Yeah.
as always. And I'll get out the way for Craig to come back in.
Well, Jim, they're making a good fist of
They
this,
are.
aren't they?
This is the best we've seen, isn't it? In terms
A
of
proper opening
all the
partnership.
part 63, no wicket lost. But I mean, I was just saying to Andrew, one of my Fingal friends reckoned that the Phoenix bowling is not as good. that you can chase more scores, allegedly, you know, that they have always to get big runs to be in a game.
Well, one of the things I have noticed is he's not comfortable running in singles.
He's struggling.
He is.
He's struggling. He's struggling big time.
But he's still there. He's going well. 27 off 16, I think. And, well, this opening partnership really is important from a Leinster point of view. What they didn't need was the silly run-outs they had in the semi-final.
No, this is very measured stuff now, with the loose ball being put away for 6. This is very solid. But this was the Leinster team that I saw earlier on the year. They're very, very good.
Yeah. And I heard you saying earlier on, reigning champions, of course.
Yeah, they were fantastic here last year.
Looking to regain their, or
look at that,
retain their crown. Yeah. And they'll want to go one better, of course, and
win it.
Go for the All-Ireland.
Yeah. They were great here last year, and that was a very strong Pembroke team that they beat.
It was, and they did. And look, cricket is a wonderful game. It doesn't matter how good you think you are or how good you think your team is. Cricket can humble all of us.
Yeah, and the bit with T20, one lad getting scores and you're in the game.
Yep.
No matter how good the others are. You saw it last night in the women's match. 97 runs, one batter.
One batter making a huge difference, and we've seen that today as well. Yeah. That one
is out.
He's gone. Dockrell has picked up a wicket, and it's Ben Mitchell who departs for 39. He's given his side a good start, but Phoenix will be delighted at breaking that partnership. They needed to do that.
And he's not happy.
So that's 68 for 1. And Dockrell into the game again.
He's in, yep.
Well, Dave O'Riordan it is who will be presenting the man of the match, as picked by the commentators. But one has to say, if Phoenix win this, there's only one man, really.
Yes.
And even if they don't win it.
That's what I was going to say. I got given out to one day for giving the man of the match to a pro. And one of the lads said, sure, he's paid to do that. Why did you give it to him?
It doesn't matter. He still did it.
He did it, yeah. He did it, yeah. And the fact that he's getting paid is irrelevant.
I've given man of the match to somebody on the losing team, and you can see people going, really? How could he be man of the match?
Much better in
because he made it a match.
Much better in Fingal. Much better. You could give it to a fella who had a great stop about the third over, and it ran the good lad out, and then there's a row over it all winter. Matt Dwyer told me he got 6 wickets one day for 10 and didn't get man of the match. So it's great. You give it to a fella, or a good catch, or you nearly caught it.
And your champagne moment or something
your
like
man
that.
half ran and then he was run out and the whole game sorted. So
I mean, as good as the first game was, and we sort of said that, well, Johnson's 66 was vital, the champagne moment for me in that first semi-final here at Sydney Parade was the catch by the wicketkeeper.
Yeah, catching the ball between his legs.
Yeah. It didn't affect the outcome of the game or anything. It wasn't, but just for a champagne moment, you'd say...
Oh, the things you look back on.
Which part of our 3-hour broadcast, which 10 seconds would you clip to show somebody what fun it was? And that catch would be it. Yeah. He ran 20 yards... overran it and still took the catch. That's a nice shot.
That's a nice shot.
A nice save on the boundary.
Good stop.
That is a very good stop on the boundary because that was travelling at some pace. That is the end of the 7th over. Life scoring just a little bit behind us at the moment, but Leinster will be looking to Patel to really take the score on now. He's batting with a partner who's running between the wickets. Is hampered, I think is the best word for it.
Hampered, yeah. I might have said suspect, but we'd say hampered.
Yep.
Hampered is he's struggling, the poor man, at the minute. Whatever happened to him, whether he pulled a muscle or something, but he's definitely struggling. But I was saying that to Andrew, do you remember Gordon Greenwich? He needed to be hurt or struggling to score big runs.
That's when he really concentrated.
Yeah.
And I have to say that in my youth, when Friday and Saturday night were social nights, as opposed to quiet night in front of the TV with a cup of tea. But when you were out and about, you'd turn up for a game maybe on a Sunday or on a Saturday, you'd be a bit rough.
Yeah.
And often those were your best performances because inside you realise that, God, I have to concentrate today.
You keep my eye on the ball.
Keep my eye on the ball and stuff.
Yeah, because I'm seeing two. And sure, the lads in another era when we were playing football, the fella you took out with the pub with a feed of drink on him because you were a fella short, plays a blinder, an absolute blinder, because he doesn't care about anything.
Yeah.
He's impervious to everything.
And then when he's sober and you say, "Oh, will you play?"
Yeah, not a chance.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Well, It's a big partnership for this Leinster side. 69 for 1 off 7 overs. And a very good afternoon, James. Patel, he's 1 off 1. And so much is going to rest on his shoulders now. Sidhu from the nursery end. Sidhu getting the benefit of the long boundaries to the Willfield Road gate and down that leg side. So if he does err, at least he's got a bit of protection.
There's
out
enough
that
protection out there for him, yep. That's
oh
out.
My word. He looks at the ground. He is disappointed, but they needed Patel to do something here, and he hasn't. He's just lifted it back to Sidhu. And Sidhu, in his second over, has taken a wicket, and that makes his first over look a bit sort of strange. He conceded 19 in his first over, and he takes a wicket with the first ball of the second.
One, yeah, we're back into it. There's another man out with more spiritual reading to consult with the lads again.
Well, they were 68 without loss. They're now 69 for two. And Phoenix will feel, well, we're putting the handbrake on here a bit now. It just
it stopped on him, did it?
He followed through too much with the shot, I think.
Yeah, premeditated.
I think he was trying to hit it back over the bowler's head, but it was too close to him for that. But he didn't change the shot, followed through and just shoveled. That's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
He shoveled it back to the bowler. A bowler takes a bit different to the caught and bowled we saw earlier or last night. There was a great caught and bowled last night. Lou Little actually middled one, and the bowler put a hand up.
Yeah, and it was in it.
And when she brought it down, it was, there it is.
Not the catch in the shot. Yeah.
It was fabulous. And it was a big moment in that game. Lou Little was looking strong with the bat and hoping to get Pembroke a bit closer to their target. But with her departure, it made a big difference to that final, and that was an important caught and bowled. We'll see how important that one was. Sidhu, 1 for 19 now. And Johnson, who, as we say, was, if there had been a player of the match, probably would have got it for his 66 in the first game.
Starts with a 4.
Well, a bit of start as you, or carry on as you started. 4 off that delivery. Sidhu just, not a huge amount wrong with that, but he stepped across his stumps. If he'd missed it,
it was a good night.
Yeah, I think the umpire would have sent him on his way. Yeah. But 4 runs from his first delivery. Run rate up nearly 9 3/4. This one in the air, it is going to get...
Did he catch it? Great effort.
That is a fabulous effort. I thought for a moment then he'd caught it.
I thought he had it as well.
But even if he had caught it, that he was going to land on the rope.
On the rope or over it. It was a great effort.
But he makes a lot of ground, one-handed.
One-handed, brilliant effort.
Trying, if nothing else, to flick it back inside the rope. Wasn't to be. This is a faster ball from Sidhu. So often you see when a spinner gives away a boundary, the next one is fired in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's sick in you, yeah.
And yet, often you see the more experienced, should we say, more elderly, more experienced bowlers toss up another one and say, well, do that again. And it looks like the same ball, but...
It's not quite.
It's not quite.
Do you say that about Dick Byrne, who played with the Hills until he was nearly 70, or till he was 70? Got man of the match in a junior final, got a hat-trick. But if he was hit, the next one went up.
Yep.
Much higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had that courage to throw it up.
Look, when it comes down to it, it's a cricket match, it's a game, and if you get hit for another 6, what difference does it make to life? Very little. So why not have the guts to toss it up there and say, yeah, go on then. And if you can hit 6 of them and they all go for fine, you're a very good player.
Yeah, Matt Dyer would say to me, lads, hitting them back over your head, fair play to you.
Yep.
You know, that it's an interesting sort of philosophy, that if you're good enough, just accept it as something that has happened.
Well, a very good over for Leinster that. Despite the loss of a wicket, they moved 13 runs closer to their target. That target, of course, is 179. Less than 100 required now, off 12 overs. And the required run rate, it's just over 8. And I think you can manage 8 and over for 12 overs.
That's manageable, yeah. And they're a very good batting side. They bat a long way down. So, loss of wickets not the end of the world. Joey Carroll coming in next. It's not the end of the world.
I don't think it'd even be in next.
That's what I mean. Yeah, they bat a long way down. They're very, very good.
And still, they're missing the big bat that Gareth Delaney brings.
Yeah. Well, I saw him today. He's recovering well, thank God.
Dockrell pushing that one in to the ground.
Yeah, the flat one.
Again, good bowling for Dockrell. 7 for 1 off his first 9 balls. And this one played down the ground. And, well, almost by negotiation, both sides agree you can have a single there. Batsman trot through. Fielder just gently lobs it back to the bowler. Swept along the ground, beats the fielder on the edge.
Yes.
Gets away to a boundary, another boundary, and Madzari has moved on to 33, and the total now at 87 for 2. Comparatively, Phoenix after 9 overs were 55 for 3. So you would say Leinster would feel that they're well ahead, and that is a big shot. But again, you can see the batsman is not happy having to run. I think if you could cut off his boundaries, he would get very frustrated very quickly.
He would, yes. Well, I know he played with Malahide, and John Morgan would say that, that it was all duck or no dinner.
Yeah.
It's big runs or none, that he has very little tolerance of being tied down.
Yeah.
And I mean, the fact that today that he's struggling a bit with some kind of an injury.
Still not keen to be tied down. He's looking for the ropes, and he's finding them.
Find them, yeah.
37 now from 21 balls. He's not hanging around. The score, 91 for 2 off 9 overs. And a change of bowling. We're not that surprised, really.
Is this young McGuinness?
It is.
James, yeah.
This over, of course, will take us to halfway. And they need 88 off 11 overs. This one in the air on the offside, ends up in front of the clubhouse hall, but it will just be a single. And the batsman, well, he was grateful he was able just to walk the 22 yards. Is there anybody at the ground you don't know, Jim?
Very few. They're my 2 friends.
Well, that's the single taken. They are going to look for 2.
He's running better now, look.
No, he's not.
This place is like Lourdes. The second one, no, he ran a bit quick. He ran the first one very quickly. Yeah. But struggling now again with the second one.
He really was starting to hobble on that second one.
Yeah, ran the first one very quickly.
There's my friend on the outfield, Sammy the Seagull.
Oh, very good.
He visits us on a regular basis. Oh, that's a lovely shot. Get another ball, because that one ain't coming back. Oh, it is. But that was a beautiful shot. 6 more runs onto the total. And Amadze is moving on to 45. And this is hitting in the George Dockrell category.
Beautiful. Just in the slot.
Slapped away.
Yeah, just in the slot.
Big arc from the bat. And that brings up the 100. 100 coming up in the 10th over. And they're right on target here. It's just 2 wickets down. And Leinster very much. Oh, this one, however, is short of the rope. There is a fielder coming in.
Short. He didn't read it in time.
Wasn't moving
No,
quickly enough to catch it up.
He didn't see it in time.
And again, the difficulty of a cloudless sky, I think, demonstrated
and a white ball.
there. Yeah,
He just didn't read it on time. It was up in the air a long time, and
you can't really judge how quickly it's moving or
coming
what
at you,
height it's at or anything. You do need that sort of reference up there. We might complain about cloudy days, and we're loving some of us are loving the cloudless day today and the temperature that's come with it.
Wide.
Batsman signals wide. The
Helps
umpire.
the umpire, yeah,
concurs.
yeah. Very nice, civic spirited.
Just helping out, I think.
That's all, yes. That's very nice, very helpful. Oh,
There's a call, and he gets through successfully by diving the last 2 yards when the ball was not yet picked up. He really isn't happy with movement at the moment.
no, he's in a right heap. He's gone down to talk to his friend. Don't do that again.
He'll probably be a good poster boy for, what's that stuff, Voltarol. If you watch daytime television on ITV, where they gels to make you move better.
I already said WD-40. Yeah, I was told that was great as well. Look at this.
And again, he'll take the single, but at what cost? He is not happy with movement, but it's not stopping him getting on with the game.
Oh, yeah.
Halfway through then, 106 for 2, and just by getting to this stage and only 2 wickets down, would you have Leinster as favourites now?
Oh, big time.
They only need another 73. They've 10 overs to get them in. We were talking about an over rate of 8 and over. They've now got it down to 7 1/3.
And have a pile of batting.
And yeah,
You know, that even if they lost wickets now, they're still ahead.
I think so. They could lose 2 or 3 wickets here.
Yeah, they don't have to do anything rash now. You just can't play cricket now.
Yep. I mean, now this is the one thing about the batsman who is struggling with his mobility. Normally you'd say, well, now you can just push it around. You've got the rate down 7.3. It only takes a boundary every so often, and you'll be getting those runs. But take your singles, turn your singles into 2s, and you'll get there. But he can't run.
Now, would there be a case? I don't know what's the regulation nowadays for retired hurt? Are you deemed retired out?
No, not if you've suffered the injury in the game.
Yeah, well, yes.
Certainly no runners anymore.
No, there's no runners. Yeah, but
I think that's a great shame. I used to love coming out to run for
great
somebody.
crack.
Oh, it was always good fun.
And doing the umpire's exam, that was great.
Yeah.
two batters have runners, and all 4 lads run. Who's out?
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. It was one of the ones. You have to visualise it. All 4 lads running. 2 lads that were hurt were not able to run, and the 2 runners running as well. And the wicket is put down at the batter's end.
Well, if the injured batsman runs, he's only safe at his own end.
Yeah,
he's not safe even if he makes his ground at the other end.
Correct.
He's still not safe.
Yeah. But it was great.
Yeah, I did my umpiring exams as well, Jim.
I know it was great. But that was great, you know. And the calculations for the last hour when we haven't had it for years.
Yeah.
Do you know the 20 in the last hour? It was great crack. You're counting on your fingers and toes and every bloody thing. Now, Ben, can you get a wicket?
Well, how they would love for Ben White to have a successful day.
Well,
I think you've called
there's the
it,
wicket.
Jim.
How about that?
Clairvoyant, Jim.
How about that? Great catch from Dockrell. Kept his eye on it the whole way.
And kept his body underneath it.
Yes. Yep.
So that if he did drop it, it wasn't going to hit the ground, it was going to hit him.
Yep. Yeah, great catch.
And that's a super catch. And Madley, he's departed. Or rather, Johnson it is. 66 in the first game. He's gone now. And he's gone for 14 off just 8. And the score 108 for 3. Now, we said they could lose a couple of wickets. We didn't expect it to happen.
No, not that readily, or to call it, with Ben White coming on. But
he's such a dangerous bowler in these T20s.
Clever. Oh no, he's a very clever cricketer. Now, whether is it Joey Carlos coming in?
I don't know who the next batsman is, but going back to Ben and leg spin, there's quite a few good leg spinners in the province at the moment. You've got Ben White here, playing for Phoenix.
And Gavin.
Gareth Delaney, Leinster man.
And Gavin.
Gavin Hoey from Pembroke. So there's good leg spinning options out there for all the representative
Oh yeah, and we had that
teams.
chat with Andrew as to which is the better, Gavin or Ben, and there's nothing in it.
Very little.
There's nothing in it.
Two fine players.
Fine cricketers. But Gavin is probably a slightly better bat.
But Ben probably has a bit more experience on the bowling.
Ball, yes, yeah,
You
and
know,
we're both good fielders. But it's not great to have.
It's one of those ones where it's not just I will take this one or that one. It's I take this one because of that, but this one because of that.
Yeah, it depends on the day.
Yep.
And I think.
Dropped, White taking the edge,
dropped,
and the keeper has put it down.
Dropped.
I don't know who the keeper is.
And it's not our man, and the left us, Klaus Nicholas Pretorius anyway, because that man is taller.
And this one,
that's a big
trying
drop.
to ride it, and see how much Phoenix would have loved to have taken that wicket. This one in the air, out to the leg side.
George Dockrell, no.
And again, you just can't keep him out of the game, can you? But it's the way he likes to play the game.
Quicker one.
White pushing that one through. Still out of the back of the hand, though. These two batsmen need to put together a little bit of a partnership as soon as possible. Perdue, we saw him bowling earlier. Spinner to spinner, always an interesting one.
Yes. You'd leave some of those alone.
11 overs gone, 110 for 3. A good over for White, just 4 runs coming from it. But more importantly, that wicket. And now 110 for 3.
Still spin, is it? Yep.
Well, Sidhu.
Yep.
And again, it's just sort of the way that Phoenix rotating their bowlers. Sidhu bowled the 28th, and now we're in the 32nd. He's back on. George bowled 1-2 overs, and then he was off. McGuinness has bowled 1, and he's been taken off. His over did go for 15, so you could understand why Phoenix are making the change. Oh my goodness! Well, Sidhu.
Miss? And it went for 4.
It didn't miss the inside edge of the bat, and that's what took it past the stumps, I feel. But another boundary, and that is 50 for the batsman.
Well played, sir.
He has played well and played on one leg.
Yeah, and not a tumultuous ovation or anything. Just very matter of fact.
It's still well within Leinster's grasp. They need 65.
Oh.
And there's 52 balls to come.
Oh, it's Leinster to lose.
It is.
Yeah.
I think Phoenix now need to take a bunch of wickets.
Yeah, they need to get into them in a hurry now.
.55 now from 29. A lot of, when you think that he's scored 36, he's run 19 of those, and that's not counting how many he's had to run for his partners.
Yeah, fair play to him.
So for a man on one leg.
Oh no, it's a great ad actually for fellas on one leg. That he's able to and persevere. No, it's great to be concentrating so well.
Helmet off now as he faces the spinner.
Ben White.
Ben White, instantly recognisable in the field.
Yes, with that lovely languid stride.
And that's what it is, isn't it? Languid. He just sort of suddenly appears without any undue effort. And we Sidhu, the leading wicket taker for Phoenix so far this year. He's already taken 1 here, but he has also taken a bit of tap, it has to be said. Big appeal. Quick no from the umpire.
Yeah.
Through for
Through for
leg bye.
leg bye. Yes.
I thought the appeal had given the run to the batsman then.
Yeah. And he's explaining that was going down leg as well. The umpires told me, man, already. Oh.
Good work again. And this game is bubbling up to a very exciting finish. Powered out to Cow corner. It's taken on the first bounce. He'll just take the single.
Decent over again.
Things going well for Leinster. 7 off that over. They only need, as I say, 7 3/4 and over. But you can see they're well ahead on the worm.
They are, yeah. And here's Ben. This is what Ben's third.
But if you drew a line going along from that Leinster line, it's going to cross
At the 17th over.
the 17, and that's when George.
Doc will cut loose.
Absolutely. As I say, they put on 52 in those last 3 overs.
Yeah.
And it will be, can Leinster stay ahead enough to make that immaterial? And that has crashed into the boundary at a rate of knots, despite the best dive.
Of the fielder, yeah.
Went into the bushes, another boundary, and Leinster, well, they're starting to make this look a little bit easy. Now, it should be no surprise, when we looked at the Phoenix batting card, you had George's century, next highest score 20, next highest score 15.
Yeah.
Nobody really staying with him, nobody else scoring runs, and you can't expect really to win a game on the back of one man.
No.
It happens, we know it happens, but it's tough to do in a final against a side as fine as Leinster, who, as Jim has said, do bat an awful lot, long way down.
Yeah, I would say of the teams I've seen this year now, with the honourable of Pembroke, they bat the whole way. They're a very, very well balanced side. Oh, here
This
we are.
one,
Well, he's out.
Oh,
Out, got in the mouth.
well, my word, that was an exciting catch.
Oh, yeah.
He misjudged it, and he was half a step underneath it, and he ended up having to lean back to give his hands room to take the catch. He did take the catch. It's another wicket down, and Ben White strikes again. He was the match winner in the All-Ireland final last year, but now he's doing the business for Phoenix again. 121 for 4. He's gone a long way outside off to fetch that, and as a result he hasn't got the power into it that he wanted, and White picks up a 4th wicket and the score 121 for 4, and that makes it interesting again, Jim. We're going to test this long batting order.
Yes, we go, and it's going to test the commentators as well for the man of the match judging.
Very much so.
I mean, with wickets being taken now, it becomes a much more difficult concept to so, and he's bowling great, and I mean, you take it, he's also had a drop catch.
Yep. Ben White doing exceptionally well. He could end up with 4 or 5 here and still might not win man of the match. I mean, I don't think there's any getting around the fact that out of a total of 178, 64 of them were extras and other players, and the rest all down to George Dockrell.
One player, yeah.
He scored 114 here in the final, beating his 101 off 52 balls that he scored in the semi-final. And certainly a player of the day is well within his mark, and that's a cracking
Beautiful
shot.
shot.
Over the covers, extra cover,
Just like that.
and 4 runs. And it's Joey Carroll who has come in at number 6.
Yes, yeah.
And Joey Carroll, well, as you say,
Experienced cricketer.
and he's drawing on it now.
Yeah, and you would say knows enough to bring them home.
Should do.
Should do. We won't have the commentators' curse now on the next ball. It's just clever.
single taken. 126 for 4. So you've enjoyed your day here, Jim?
It's fantastic.
It's a great way to watch the game.
Yeah, weather, cricket, everything. I can see everything. It's been absolutely beautiful. Great day.
Another one pulled out to the leg
George.
side. He'll take that. And that is the end of 13 overs. 10 runs coming from that one. A good over again for Leinster in terms of runs, but that 4th wicket. But it has brought Joey Carroll to the crease. Required rate under 7.5. And there you can see where the Leinster innings is just sort of slightly outpacing.
Yes,
Phoenix one,
yeah. It's going to come down to acceleration.
But Phoenix having those massive Middle Eastern towers.
Yes, it's going to come down to acceleration. Now, still spin from this end.
I mean, just to give you a comparison, Jim, Phoenix were 83 for 3 at this stage, and Leinster find themselves 127 for 4.
Oh, yeah.
So you'd think Leinster are way ahead, but that destructive innings at the end by Dockrell means that Phoenix are still in this game.
Still well in it.
Sidhu to continue from the nursery end. And Phoenix, out of all the teams we've seen today, and we've seen 3, they seem to be the ones who are reliant on spin the most.
Yes. Well, there's 3 good spin bowlers, though.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because a poor spinner could take you out of the game altogether. But the 3 of them are good, know what they're doing. That's a single just surrendered.
Well, Sidhu, member of the Leinster Lightning side. George, of course, in the Irish side, and Ben White.
Yes,
So
you're talking serious experience.
Yep. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Sorry, Amanda. Wasn't you I was aiming at. Oh, there could be trouble. Oh,
Missed it.
good effort by the keeper to try and flick it back onto the stumps.
Yeah.
And it wasn't to be. Another single taken, but a risky one.
Big one now. It's hard to know why he was doing that. Just a rush of blood to the head and going to take off.
You don't need that.
No.
That's better, isn't it?
More control, yeah, much better.
Joey Carroll doing exactly the right thing, just taking a single, turning over the strike. Well, Jim, thanks very much for joining us in the commentary box
No problem,
today.
it's a
Just
pleasure,
a couple
Greg.
of balls left in this over.
Thanks very much. Really enjoyed it.
We'll let you enjoy the... Oh!
Stumping.
He's out.
He's out.
He's
It's
out. He's gone. That is great work by the keeper.
Sharp.
134 for 5, and Sidhu makes the breakthrough that they were looking for. Bad is on his way. He didn't score very many, and in the 14th over, it's 5 down.
Game on.
And game on.
Game on. Big time.
Good time to slip out of the commentary box and
Yep,
go and enjoy the end,
yes,
Jim.
Let my good friend Andrew Pointer come in here.
Here is this wicket again. It's the strangest one. It's so wide, he came out for it, inside edged it, and the keeper has done exceptionally well to get that ball back onto the stumps, and the umpire giving that out. Andrew, you'd have appreciated that one. Sharp work.
A fantastic bit of work. Just even the flexibility to get his hand up that quick and back down to the stumps.
It was the reflex, because
Yeah.
it took an edge off the batsman, and he managed to get his hand up and then bring it back down to the stumps. And now 101 for 5. There are only 6 overs remaining, 6.1 overs remaining, and they still need 48.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting finish, isn't it?
It's going to be like, well, the Irish Senior Cup I thought was exciting last year, but this is right up there with it. And Mondra doing exactly the right thing. Just take the single. End of the over. 14 gone. 131 for 5.
I would say the Leinster camp will be pretty nervous, but if anything is calming them down will be the fact that Joey Carroll is still at the crease.
Yeah.
Because he's got them over the line in plenty of games of cricket over the years. And if they need even 20 or 25 off the last couple and he's still there, he can do that as well.
Yeah. Yes, he's earned the reputation and the faith of the Leinster supporters. So many years. He's done great things for Leinster. And he's looking to take them to silverware today. 48 required, 36 balls remaining.
George Dockrell into the attack.
This will be Dockrell's third over. It's funny, Ben White still has an over left by my calculation, but they've turned to Dockrell now. And perhaps they reckon that his left arm spin against the left armour might be the way to go.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. I think potentially there's a bit of just keep one up the sleeve for Ben, if it does get a bit close at the end.
It's up in the air. There is a fielder underneath this at long on, and he's taken it. It's another catch. Tyrone Kane with the safe pair of hands. Dockrell makes the breakthrough, and another wicket.
Yeah.
6 down now.
I'm not sure Moondra needed to do that.
No, I don't think he did. Yes, they need a sort of 8 and over, but it doesn't all have to be in boundaries.
No,
And one thinks Leinster might be just doing themselves a disservice here.
Yeah, I think his job was stay there with Joe Carroll for another couple of overs and give yourself a chance going into the last 3 or 4. But
6 down now makes a big difference.
big time, and I know it's a positive and modern way to keep trying to hit, but I don't think that was his job today.
Well, sometimes it's reading the game as much as anything else that's important. You know, you know that, we need X number of runs. They don't have to be done in boundaries. Not every ball has to be chased after, but he chased that one and put it a long way up in the air. And Tyrone Kane, well, he wasn't going to drop that one, that was for sure.
No, it's, catching has definitely improved as the day's gone on.
Yes. Yes, the standard of catching has definitely improved from that first semi-final. There we go. De Beer doing exactly the right thing.
Leinster's batting lineup's long. Like Tristan De Beer's a handy cricketer.
Yeah.
And scores runs in league cricket regularly, so it's not probably game over just yet. George has had an topsy-turvy kind of international career, hasn't he? Started as a young left-arm spinner, and then lost his contract and came back as this power-hitting batsman that we've witnessed today.
Well,
and now his bowling's come back as well.
Well, it was even worse than that, because he didn't only lose the Somerset contract, but he then ended up losing his Ireland contract as well, but reinvented himself as this power-hitting lower-order batsman, and now has become that and somebody who can bowl.
Yeah, and has great experience. He's nearly had like 2 Irish careers in one, like one as a frontline spinner and now one as a batsman. And he's vastly experienced. He's played so many games in so many different conditions.
And the wealth of experience he has being brought to bear now. Doesn't so much mind the single. Gets Carroll off strike, but it's the end of the over, so Carroll remains on strike, and after 15 overs, 138 for 6, Justin De Beer off the mark. And Joey Carroll 12 off 6. And Leinster are 41 runs away from lifting the trophy. And 5 overs. But only 4 wickets left now. This game still in the balance. And again, you never see a broke bookie.
Here comes Ben White. He's just changed ends. This will be, I think this is the over.
It could be sort of either way. Either team could grab this game by the neck now.
Ben White bowls tight over here. I think it's Phoenix's.
Well, this is White's last, so it'll be interesting to see what bowling they have left as well.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Carroll knows that as well. He's maybe not tentative, but might not just take as many risks as he might want to.
I can see him trying to take him straight to the sight screens.
Yeah, they'll be hoping they get some length that they can hit him back over his head.
That's what they'd be looking for. There's very little cover back there. He's bowling and set his field for hitting square at the wicket. And I suppose, in a way, he wants the batsman to take him on straight. Give him the best chance. De Beer just drops it in. And Joey Carroll gets back for 2 quite safely. And 141 on the board. Over rate on your screen now, 8.44, but that's changing every single delivery now. Changing quite dramatically. Lovely delivery, inside edge. De Beer with a quick call.
I think Phoenix are pretty happy with singles. It's what they don't want now in this second half of this over is any boundaries. I think they'd be quite happy for it to go for 5 or 6. Bowled.
One ball left in his spell, 2 wickets to his name. The extra bounce doing for Carroll's attempted slog sweep. End of the over, 4 remain. And 37 runs required.
What an excellent over from Ben White there. Showing all his international nous and why he's in the Irish team at the moment.
So where do you go for the last 4 overs? Will it be Malone and Kane? Dockrell still has 1 as well.
I think they're going to... Looks like Malone's coming on here now, this end.
I don't think they're going to go to McGuinness. His 1 over costing 15. I don't think they're going to risk that again.
I think they're going to go Malone, Kane, Malone. And George up their sleeve if this over disappears. George Dockrell fielding in front of us. He's got a big smile on his face.
I'd say.
You would if you've got 200s in a day, wouldn't you?
Well, first of all, you wouldn't get the smile off my face. But secondly, isn't it great to see players playing for fun?
Oh, yeah. So I think this summer's going to be a real brilliant summer, as we were saying earlier. The fact that all the Irish internationals are going to play a lot of club cricket, and guys, all club members be able to see that for free and just arrive at their club and brush shoulders with these guys is brilliant. And the lads are really good at giving back and having chats and spending time with guys as well.
37 off 23 required. George keeps bending down to see the scoreboard. We'll keep you updated, George. Through to the keeper. Dot balls. Very valuable at this stage.
It's interesting with this field. It looks like he's going to kind of bowl that length into the wicket, but he's got the whole offside up. But I think if he used his nous and maybe stood leg side and tried just to get some bat on it through the offside, he's more likely to get a boundary.
Yeah, I think he's thinking of scoring a 6 on the leg side, and you're quite right. He should just be aiming for the gaps on the offside and pick up 4.
Yeah, a much safer option.
Again, another one looking to flick through, and on this time, De Beer doesn't think he got anything on it, but the umpire did, and certainly Phoenix did, and now Leinster are 7 down. And
Yeah.
Phoenix, just like they did in the Irish Senior Cup final last year, are bowling themselves into a position.
Yeah, batsman didn't look overly happy with that decision, but
The way he's still walking off and shrugging his shoulders suggests that he doesn't think he got anything on it.
might have flicked a pad. It's difficult from that replay without
Zooming in and...
Yeah, and Snicko and all the Sky Sports technology, but he didn't look happy walking off, did he?
No, but as unhappy as he looked, you had 11 people on the Phoenix side looking delighted.
Yeah, true.
142 for 7. Malone picks up his first wicket. And with 3.5 overs to go, still 37 required. And Carroll now joined by Mark Tonge.
Making a little name for himself here, Mark Tonge.
Could make a memory for life.
Big time. Free drinks for the rest of his life, and Leinster Cricket Club if he can drag him over the line. Clean striker of the ball, yeah, as we saw in the last couple of balls of the semi-final.
He's eyeing up that leg side boundary. And he definitely wants to hit the wall.
Yeah, I just don't understand why. You know what, like he's not trying to hit the stumps, he's trying to bowl the length that's going to go over the stumps. I just think if you give yourself a little bit of space and any sort of bat, as long as you don't hit it to any of the fielders, the way this outfield and the amount of pace that the bowler's putting on it, it's quite an easy shot for 4.
Do it a couple of times, you force changes in the field. That's better.
There you go, beat the gap on the...
And despite the
That's a
effort,
great chase.
he has not given up on that at all. He has chased it an awful long way.
I thought that was 4 for all money.
Absolutely. Even when I saw him chasing after it, I thought, well, there's cup final play. Shows everything, but he managed to pull that one up in front, side the line.
Great chase from Shane Gekate.
Saved a run, and how vital that might be come the end. 34 off 19.
Joey needs to get a single here to stay in the game. Like he still can take 30 off 3 overs. He's that powerful.
And that's exactly what he does. Quite deliberate, quite calculated. Takes the single. Score moves on to 146. And 33 required from 3 overs at 11 and over. I think we've seen that before today.
Nice quick maths from you.
It's all written down on the screen. I wish I could say that my maths, even my basic maths, was that good. But yeah, cricket clubs provide all the information. And many thanks to our scorers today, because they've been absolutely top class on the live scoring, and that's where we get our graphics and information from. So thank you to them. Umpires have had a tough day. Kind of been easy.
Yeah, especially in this heat.
In this heat, yeah. Concentration levels having to be kept right up. Semi-final and final done. Done by the same umpires.
I was wrong. Tyrone came, but George has given himself a bowl.
This is experience on the Phoenix side, experience on the Leinster side. Dockrell and Carroll. Carroll with 1 from the first ball of the over. 147 now.
I think it's Tonja's job to get himself back off strike. Joe has the power.
Gets bat on ball, which of course is the most vital first thing you need to do. And gets Carroll back on strike. Dockrell bowling from the nursery end. And again, a field sort of set for the cross-bat square of the wicket shots. There is a man out there, but all he can do is watch that one reach over the rope in amongst the covers. Dockrell disappears for 6. And that brings up 150 for Leinster. And now they're just 25 away from victory.
Beautiful slog sweep from Joey Carroll there. Gets every piece of it. There's a big old boundary out there to that deep mid-wicket area. And clears it with ease. Game on.
Cut away. Ben White will do the fielding in front of the pavilion. Good fielding it is too. Gets that ball right back into Dockrell. He's not overly happy at the speed it hit his hands, but it did the job.
It was a good thing he caught it, because the guys backing up were a bit slow there. It was probably going fast enough that they might not have got another run, but...
Hit down the ground, and a simple catch taken by Ben White. Tonge disappears. He ends his innings for 4 from 4. And another wicket down. 8 down now. And now one feels that Phoenix are in the box seat.
Yeah, I think so too. Nice
2 balls left in this over. And the new batsman's got to face 1. You want him to hit 2, 4 or 6 to leave Carroll on strike for the last over. But 24 is a lot to get in 1 over.
It is. And
or in 2 overs.
Mark Tonge there just doesn't quite... He got a pretty decent connection, just didn't quite get the elevation. And Ben White's a pretty tall fielder there at long off as well. You'd think with Bilal being a left-hander and Dockrell spinning it into him and it being a slightly smaller boundary to the clubhouse, he's got a bit of a free hit, these 2 balls, to try and deposit at least 1, if not both of them, to the boundary.
That's a nice shot through the offside. It's going to run down to the team gazebos. It will cross the rope. It's 4 more runs, 159, 20 required, 2 overs to go. And it really is. After we saw 2 semi-finals this morning, this game now is an absolute cracker.
Lovely shot off the back foot there. It just shows the speed of the outfield. He just beats extra cover. And it runs away for 4 towards the team tents there.
It's all the 2s now. 20 required from 2 overs. 2 wickets in hand. And a trophy that doesn't know where it's going to end up yet. There is the worm. You can see just how Leinster have been ahead a lot of the time, but that last assault by George Dockrell, has it put that finish line just a bit too far away from a Leinster point of view? New batsman, Bilal Azhar.
I've definitely played against Bilal and he's opened the batting, so he's well capable.
Certainly capable of scoring runs. Question is, how quickly? 20 from 12 deliveries. They're going to need a boundary early on here, just to build the excitement. Oh, that's a lovely shot. A lovely shot for 4 down the leg side.
Doesn't all have to be brute strength, does it?
No, subtlety of touch, deft touch down the leg side.
On his hip, just a little bit of bat on it, runs away to fine leg at a speed or not.
Go on, played out. The boundary rider on this occasion, Sidhu, does a good job. Keeps it to a single. 15 off 10. Bit of thought going into what they're going to deliver here. Malone. 4 balls left.
Well bowled.
Nice bit of bounce on that. Goes through to the keeper at a good height. Dot ball. We spoke about how valuable they are at this time of the game.
That's very well bowled. Exactly what Phoenix needed.
Yep, needed a dot ball. They don't make it easy for themselves.
No, they're definitely doing well at having nice close games, aren't they?
And that's 4 more. The Leinster fans becoming very vocal now. It's getting close. 11 required.
Three young lads on the wall here enjoyed that, didn't they?
Oh, they're dancing to the music.
Lovely shot past backward point.
Once it beat the fielder in the ring. Big open areas. 11 required, 8 balls. Dockrell just slowing the game down, going over and having a word with his young bowler.
Yeah, very clever from George. Just all the batsman wants is the next ball after hitting a 4. Adrenaline's going, and he's making him wait here. Also making his bowler sure of where he's going to bowl, what plan it's going to be. Just reassuring him as well.
Short ball. And the wicket. Now there's some debate here as to whether it came off the bat or the helmet.
I think it sounded pretty plasticky helmet,
Yeah.
didn't it, rather than bat?
There's all sorts of debate going on there, but he gets away with that. But it's a dot ball again.
Yeah.
Just as good as a wicket as far as...
Interesting, no one's come out to check if the batsman's okay, or...
Yeah, check his helmet.
Yeah.
Protocols.
No, it's a bit different to international, and there's probably no physios around, but even umpires
Even
just to slow
just
the...
holding fingers up.
Yeah, just slow the game down and make sure he's okay. That was a nasty delivery. It was well bowled, wasn't it?
Yes. I'm getting that one right up and off the helmet. It's a nice catch. You could see how unsure he was. He really wanted to make sure of taking that catch. Malone in, last ball, and it will just be a single. And we enter the last over with 10 runs required. 169 for 8. 179 will be enough to lift the cup.
Tyrone Kane to bowl it, do you think?
Niall, you've read the regulations here. Oh, yes. Is there a super over? Oh, Niall's dream could come true. For 7 years now, I've listened to him going on at every tight game. Can we have a super over?
Oh, really?
And today could be the day.
Tyrone Kane looks like he's going to bowl it.
Well, somebody with experience. Good pace, knows what he's doing. But 2 batsmen who are set. They've been finding the boundary recently. Words spreading around the grounds now that there might be a super over. Wow, wouldn't that be good? We saw one last year in the All-Ireland final.
Yeah.
Can Leinster be involved in another?
Wasn't there a game recently? There was like 3 super overs. Had to replay them. I can't remember who was involved in it. Nepal.
Wide ball.
Nepal and either Scotland or the Netherlands, and they kept tying, and they won it on the third attempt. So Niall, you would have enjoyed that.
Wide from the first delivery from Kane, did not need that. Azar facing, Kane steaming in from the nursery end. They just need 9 runs now from the 6 deliveries. They go through for the single. The umpire's going to signal it as a leg bye. Nowhere near his leg, but a body bye.
Tyrone Kane's gone pace off with both those deliveries. Be interesting now what he does to Joey Carroll. Just even the fact he's more of a known boundary hitter, and also that he's right-handed. Will he go pace on or into the wicket like he has the last couple?
These two, bowler and batsman, would have faced each other many times over the years.
The fact that George Dockrell has just swapped and got himself a deep square leg, I would say he's going to be
Short and fast?
Yeah, or into the wicket, like make him hit square of the wicket.
Nobody on the boundary behind the keeper. Well,
straight to George. He obviously knew what was coming.
Let's see where he goes and fields next.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tell. He is running in. I know he's captain for this game because of Adam Chester's finger injury.
Such a shame for Adam. A shame for Phoenix. Their captain sidelined after a dislocated finger in the semi-final. But here at Sydney Parade now, this LHK Group Senior T20 final, down to the last 5 balls. Tyrone Kane and George Dockrell still conferring. Dockrell has gone from deep square leg to in front of the pavilion, one of the longest journeys on the ground.
He's going about 120 metres. So
yeah. But he got the last one exactly right. Another fielder coming from the offside onto the onside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kane coming in. Fielded well by the batsman at the non-striker's end, but another single. 6 off 3, but you've got it within 1 shot now.
Yeah, and Joe Carroll definitely can do that. I think I would be setting myself up for a into the wicket kind of slower ball.
Niall's going for 5 wides, and that will get him his super over.
5 wides, then some dot balls.
And dot balls, yep. He doesn't mind how they get there, so long as they get to a super over. Tyrone Kane then looking to finish it out before a super over. Exactly right. Into the ground, and the catch is taken, and Joey Carroll departs, and now you feel that the game has swung again.
Yeah. It's a really good catch running in.
He was, what, 5 yards away from clearing the fielder and winning the game?
Yeah, it looked like it, and sounded like it might have come right off the bottom of his bat. Slower ball into the wicket.
You called it exactly right, Andrew. Pace off ball into the wicket, and all he could do was lift it out. He couldn't add any pace to it. And the fielder coming round, very hard to see with the sunlight now. But
let's not take away from that catch. That's
super catch.
A lot of ground he's covered, and important catch. He knows as that ball's in the air, this is probably the ball game. And the way things have been going today, it's nice to see one taken.
Well, 28 off 20. Joey Carroll took Leinster to the brink of victory. But at the moment, you get the feeling that Phoenix are holding them back. New batsman in, and how his nerves must be jingling. He's taking a middle and leg guard. I can only tell you that due to Niall's fabulous camera work.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same sort of delivery here. Use the big boundaries to help them out.
Cassidy with is nothing but a big swing, and it's a run out, and that is it. Phoenix are the 2025 LHK Senior Cup Final for the Alan Murray Cup champions. What a cracking game of cricket.
Fantastic game of cricket, and Tyrone Kane holding his nerve in the last over. Nice bit of temping bowling from the wicketkeeper as well to hit the stumps.
And here is the final ball of today's play, and it's through to the keeper. They look for the one, and he had to try and get there down the end. He needed face. You can't expect the number 11 to hit a 6 to win it for you, but with 2 balls remaining, Leinster lose their final wicket, and Phoenix win by 5 runs, just 5 runs. What a fabulous one.
Yeah, great game of cricket, and thanks for having me.
Well, I'm going to let you take everybody through the cards.
Yep.
I will let Jim come in with you. The 2 of you can finish that because I need to shoot off for the presentation.
So here's the Phoenix batting card. Shane Gekate was scored 6.
Yes.
Eknor Singh 15, Tyrone Kane 7, George Dockrell in fantastic innings, 114 off 54 not out. Really the difference between the teams.
Yes.
Cotgrave 20. Munjal was out first ball, LBW to Joey Carroll. Grover also out for 0. Sidhu 2 and Malone 8 not out. And Phoenix scored 178 for 7 off their 20 overs. And the bowling card, do you want to go through that, Jim?
Now you flake away for a minute, Andrew, while I'm getting glasses organised.
Jai Mundra was 4 overs, 1 for 32. Mark Tonge, 3 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 13. Ben Mitchell, 3 overs, none for 38. Bilal Azhar, 3 overs, none for 39. Saqib Bandar, 3 overs, 1 for 26. And Joey Carroll was 4 overs, 3 for 28. And he was probably the standout bowler for the Leinster side.
Keep going.
The Leinster batting card, Eunice Adamsai, 61 off 34 balls. Hit some beautiful shots, very powerful batsman. Ben Mitchell's 39 after 24 balls. Opening partnership was a real special one for the Leinster team. Wanal Patel, 1 off 3. Thomas Johnson, bright and breezy innings of 14 off 9 balls. Saqib Bandar was 4 off 8. Joey Carroll nearly got them over the line. Was out a couple of balls to go. He's 28 after 20 balls. Jai Mundra, 1 off 3. Tristan De Beer, 4 off 6. Mark Tonge, 4 off 4. Bilal Azhar was 10 not out after 7 balls. And Ryan Casey was not. She should be not out, and Bilal should be out. He was run out, wasn't he? Bilal?
Yes.
And Malone, 4 overs, 1 for 23. Tyrone Kane, 2.5 overs, 1 for 31. Ben White, 2 for 24. It was fantastic today, Ben White. I thought
Superb.
He was really good. Amish Sindhu was 4 overs, 2 for 42. Again, Bolwell got a little bit of tap, but got important wickets.
Wickets at important times of the game, yes.
George Dockwell, 4 overs, 3 for 35. Again, took important wickets. James McGuinness was 1 over 15. And Leinster were 5 short, unfortunately for them, and Phoenix are the champions.
Yeah, and George's explosive hitting 17 to 20 decided the whole game because Leinster didn't have that acceleration.
Yeah, 100% agree. You can see it there on the worm, how it's going up there at that last sort of 3 or 4 overs. His strike on the ball was amazing at the end, and probably the difference between the sides.
It was, yes. I mean, 72 runs. I mean, we were talking here earlier on and saying they'll probably get 120. They got nearly 180.
True.
As a result of, because they had run-outs, they weren't great at the start, they were very circumspect. But when you have a player that good, and that, I mean, one boy got 20, and no one else got, one lad got 15 for them. You know, but No, they stuck at it well. I mean, Joey Carroll possibly panicked a bit. I don't think he didn't need to go for that one.
No, and I think he probably knew where Tyrone was going to bowl. Like, his field was set there. It was going to be into the wicket and slower ball that he probably didn't need to take on. That's a big
That
boundary.
particular one,
Yeah.
because if you have to go the second last or the last one, right now I have to go. But he had the 3 or 4 balls, and
Yeah, he could have just knocked it in for for 2 and made it a little bit easier, but
because we're very bright from here.
yeah, and we're great
Oh,
cricketers. in
we're
this
sharp.
country,
Oh,
but-
sharp from the other side of the white line. We're razor sharp.
So that's the match summary there. Phoenix win the Alan Murray Cup for the 2025 by 5 runs, and they go on to represent Leinster in the All Ireland.
Indeed, yeah, which I think is in Breedy.
Is it?
I think it is, yeah. And they have dethroned last year's champions.
Yeah,
Leinster won it last year.
I'm sure Leinster will be very very upset. But here's the last ball in the winning moment. Slower ball.
So
And Eknor Singh is obviously pretty handy at temp and bowling, hits middle stump.
hit it straight away, yes, and that was it. But their spin bowling, I mean, George Dockrell and Sidhu and that bowl very, very well. They got big wickets, and it seems to breed a complacency as well. Lads think they can take them on. The number of catches that were taken.
So there's the match summary, and we'll sign off from there. Jim, thank you for everything
Lovely talking to
today.
you, Andrew, and best of luck to all our viewers and listeners. I hope they enjoyed it, and with the help of God, we'll all meet again.
Thanks very much.